Good afternoon. I'm Ryan Baker. As heard on Bishop and Friends just a little bit ago, Aaron Porchline among those reporting that the Columbus Blue Jackets and Rick Bowness have agreed to a contract extension for him to remain the head coach. The deal is expected to be announced at a 2 p.m. press conference with Bones and general manager Don Waddell. The Cincinnati Reds going for the sweep of the San Francisco Giants this afternoon down at Great American Ballpark. Chase Burns gets the ball for the Redlegs. Coverage over on the Fan 2 gets underway in about 10 minutes here. First pitch is at 12:40. The Cleveland Guardians back at Progressive Field tonight, starting a series with the Baltimore Orioles at 6:10. Parker Messick makes the start for Cleveland opposite Shane Baz. This one's sponsored by the Waterworks and Header Plumbing, Drain, Heating, and Cooling, together to serve you better. Scheduled today at thewaterworks.com. Breaking sports news as it happens on The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
It's time to add some spice to your nooner. Nooner funny. This is the place where big-time guests, bold opinions, and little cute doggies come together. This is Rothman and Ice.
Sponsored by Pella Columbus, the #1 rated windows and doors in Columbus.
All right, here we go. Rothman and Ice, Anthony Rothman, Matty Ice Hayes, and the Loose Cannon boys. How we feeling?
What up, what up? Feeling good, man. Feeling good. A couple days away from WrestleMania. So, you know me as a wrestling fan, I'm gassed up about that. And, yeah, I'm back in here with you. So how can I complain? You know what I mean? How can a brother complain? How you feeling, man? You good?
Good. Yeah, this is, we're kind of getting into it now. I think the dust is settling a little bit. I think that I think the Jackets loved what Bones said. Certainly Don Waddell loved it, and the fans loved it, and that's the currency you can sprinkle out there. And it was genuine. He was ticked off, but you know we had Z on, and we'll talk about it again. They got a presser today. But my first instinct about this, and this was going to be a season-ending Don Waddell special anyway. But my guess is that certainly Bones wouldn't be there if things were still up in the air, right? So, but I also think this accomplishes another thing. Because he lit his team up. He lit them up.
Yeah, he took off on
and this whole well, everybody came into my office and they were all disappointed in losing. And I look at myself and, no, you were looking at everybody else. Like, that was on everybody else.
That's what I heard.
And it was game 82, and that team played it like it was a throwaway game, which it was, by the way. And I said the other day that if Washington had a chance to win and get in, and that's the effort you gave, then I would have been all on Bones' side. I would have been. Like, if you laid down, if you pulled a far for Strahan, if you did that with a team that had something to play for, I get it. But both those teams, first of all, nobody wants anybody in their organization to get hurt. But I understand where he is as a coach, and I could see both sides of that. But the reality is, this shuts down the viral narrative that there's a massive culture problem with the Columbus Blue Jackets, because he lit them on fire.
He did.
And said what he said, and now he's going to get a full runway, which is what we all hoped he'd get. And by the way, what he deserved. If he wanted it, he deserved it, and now we'll get to see that. So you get a lifer coach who's been in the sport forever and always will be. There are people in the media, people in coaching, this is their life. Yeah. They don't, even though they experience things outside of the industry and outside of the job, this is their identity. This is what gets them up in the morning, and they will do it till they drop.
Yeah, it's all they know.
Yeah.
Like we see
like
people all the time, right?
Yeah.
Like where they quote retire from something, but they're still around the business because of exactly what you're talking about. And I get it. Like that itch is always going to be there for a lot of people. Sometimes you got to just scratch it, whether you're a media member, a coach, former player getting into coaching, whatever it is. I think you're absolutely right in that. We are going to take the folks over to the press conference today at 2:00. So stick with us throughout the show.
Well, we're going to try.
We're going to try. Yeah, we got our best people on
tin cans together. It's not that far away.
TLC's making some things happen, so look out for that at 2:00. But yeah, word on the street is you heard our guy Big showing the update that the expectation is this marriage between Rick Bowness and the Jackets is going to continue. And he shook the room coming in with the words that he said about what he was going to want from the players, and that was awesome to hear, but those were just words. But then what followed were the actions of what he was as a coach and the players as well. And those guys really locked in. And, of course, we'll always remember the unfortunate fizzling out of the team and the positive results. but I think you found something in a guy that caught the ear of the team and I think the respect of the team as well. And so you just want to be able to build on that. And I'm sure Don Waddell, everybody over there that has to make these critical decisions, you look around the market too, the landscape of the league and some of the candidates that will be available for you. And maybe they were just like, hey, we don't need to look around. We got our guy. We know what it is. It's like, when you're dating, AR, sometimes it's, I don't need to be single anymore. I met her. I met him. Let's lock in and move forward. And that kind of feels like what's happening right now. And so it's just going to be obviously another massive offseason for this franchise to lock in on who the pillars are going to be moving forward. We know some of those guys, but also some of the ancillary pieces that you can bring in around the Z's and around, the Jets and all of that. And then you could really, hopefully, was that a siren? Yeah, okay, I heard it. Is it ancillary? Okay.
That's not a word that's often used.
I'll take that. All right.
In normal conversation.
That's fair. But no, I think that's going to be key, right? It's just to find those guys that he's going to want that can come into his system and play at a high level.
All right, so you brought up something that I think is part of this, and that's because he leaned into, if I'm back, changes are happening, basically saying certain heads are rolling. And I think that was a lot on emotion. I do. And he's got to be on the same page as Don, and we'll hear it at 2 o'clock, and their vision together. He's walked it, but he's softened, not walked it back. He's softened a little bit, and that makes sense. That's why I said I started the show on whatever day that was. That it was day after emotion, like for fans, and it was in time, live time emotion for him. Here he is on Bones on T-Bone and Tybus this morning on, this is already leaning into that I'll be back, which we know he will, on the motivation for next year. And I do feel like certainly this is a great way to send the dudes off for an off season, but here he is.
Seriously, the leaders were doing what they could, like Boone Jenner, Z, Charlie Coyle, Sean Monahan, like they're in the room. They had a good field. They were just as frustrated as the coaches that of how we were playing. But there's certain things now when you get in, if we're back and we're seeing things like the whole time you're telling them you're not going to get away with the way we're playing in the playoffs, just things like that. Well, now when that, if I come back and if that's referenced, they'll know exactly what I'm talking about. So it will start with that. And I've got a great rapport with all the players. So it's not just the leadership, but fortunately I do have a good rapport with all the players. Had great end of the year meetings with them yesterday. They're all incredibly disappointed. I think that's the motivation going into next year, that they are really, really, because obviously we were playing so well. So every single player that came into my office yesterday was incredibly disappointed on how the season went. So that's going to be a lot of extra motivation for our group going into next season.
For the group?
Yeah, there's a little trust there. I love him. Listen, I think what he said, everyone loved to hear, and he's human. Yeah. But I was leaning into, well, the players are human too. The players were eliminated. Washington was eliminated. Yes, they're pros. Yes, people pay to see them. But anybody going to that game the other night, that was buyer beware. Absolutely. You didn't know what you were going to get. And they're not going to hit the way you wanted them to hit. First of all, I don't need another guy throwing out his shoulder going into the offseason. No. I really don't. And I think that's why I gave Bones the human element as well. I'll give him, because he was just burning on emotion. And so, but that's a soft batch version of what happened the other night. Yeah. Everybody came into my office disappointed. Well, that means they cared. He put too much weight on game 82, in my estimation, on sending him into the offseason. Because I never felt like if you win game 82, that doesn't matter. That would really make the difference. What he was doing was trying to impart into his team that in a little bit, and we had Matt Light in studio the other day, a little bit of no days off. Mm-hmm. Honestly, that's what I heard in that press conference, that we get paid to play 82, we're playing 82, and I want you to go to the ice the same way you'd go if a game that matters. I think it's unrealistic. And then him dropping they don't hate to lose as much as they, I want them to hate losing more than they like winning. That'd be, what that'd be like? That would be like Fish saying to me or you guys don't hate bad ratings as much as you like good ones. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I can see your point.
And that's where you say, I don't know what it's like to get bad ratings.
Talk about it.
Okay.
Talk about it,
guys.
TLC. Yeah. I'm Anthony, bad ratings.
Okay, why are
30 years in the industry.
singling me out? All right.
No,
But that's
I get
exactly
it.
what that is.
Totally get it.
That's he wants hosts that hate to have a bad month versus like it when they have a good month. Yeah. That's exact. And you know what that is? What he said, and I've heard people say this before, and I've said it before. When I was first getting into the business, I talked to a guy in Chicago who was the tops of the tops for me. And he said, he didn't say mail it in, never give away a show.
Mm-hmm.
And this wasn't radio, this was TV even. This was like a 4-minute sportscast. He goes, never give away a show. I'm like, I don't know what that really means. I was 20 years old. And he's like, you never know who's watching. You never know. Never give away a show. And I think that's what Bones said to his team. You mailed it in. And even though it didn't count, when you mail it in, you feed that other side. And I don't want that other side to have any nourishment at all.
Coaches are always going to want, whether it's the preseason, whether it's training camp, whether it's game 7 or whether it's game 77, they're going to want their guys to grind. They're always going to want that. I agree with you, though. Human nature is going to set in a scenario like we saw in that game the other day. Like, a lot of those, not a lot of them, I wouldn't be surprised if some of those guys are in vacation mode. Hey, me and my girlfriend, me and my wife and the kids, we're going here, we're going there. Like, that's where your mind goes because there's nothing else for you to play for.
Let me give you another scenario. Do you think that when the Flyers won and they got eliminated, there were a couple of guys on our team in the Caps that said, we can go have a drink now?
Let's go. Have a steak. Have a nice little night out. Whatever. Absolutely.
Let's go have a few.
Yeah. That wouldn't surprise me, and I don't blame those guys.
Monday night at 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
When the Flyers won 3-2 in a shootout.
Wouldn't be surprised.
Actually, once they got into overtime, it was over.
Wouldn't be surprised if some guys checked out.
All right.
And
let's go have a couple.
There you go. Yeah.
And drown our sorrows. We'll come back and play. But we get to hear from him at 2 o'clock if TLC strings the cans together appropriately.
TLC's got some people on it. His best people.
All right, so we'll have that. We'll have, by the way, Dave Metzel, ringside reporter for the CBJ. We're going to lasso him into studio here at 1:30 prior to the press, or 1 o'clock rather, prior to the presser.
There we go.
So we'll dip in there, and we'll come back, and we'll talk about another organization that may want to take a cultural step, and that's the Bengals. Did they need to do this trade? We'll tell you next. Rothman Ice and the Fan.
We're known for 3 things: games, conversation, and common man yelling about things only he cares about. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Tired of snoring? Sleep Better Columbus can help with a custom mouthpiece that opens your airway and stops the snoring. No mask, no noise. Call 1-800-MORE-SLEEP or visit sleepbettercolumbus.com today. Stop snoring, sleep better, live better.
Hey Central Ohio, it's Andrew from Home Team Solutions, and yes, we buy houses for cash the easy way. We've been buying houses for over 20 years and we've seen it all. Whether you've inherited a property, you're behind on payments, the house needs work, or just want to avoid the hassle of listing, we've got you covered. No repairs, no clean out, no stress, just a fair cash offer and you pick the closing date. We've helped hundreds of homeowners sell fast and hassle-free, and we're proud to have 5-star reviews all across Central Ohio and an A+ rating with the BBB. If you're ready to sell your house the easy way, call Home Team Solutions at 614-962-SELL. That's 614-962-7355, or visit us online at selltohometeam.com. Home Team Solutions, local, trusted, and family-owned. Again, that's 614-962-SELL. 614-962-7355 or selltohometeam.com.
There's an old story about cat toys that's been retold for over 20 years because it perfectly explains who we are. This is Dennis Sullivan, president of Care Heating and Cooling. Years ago, a couple who shared their house with 3 cats had another company out to look at their furnace. After working on it, the technician said it was dangerous and had to be replaced. The couple called CARE for a second opinion, and my dad Mike went out to help them. When he inspected the furnace, the cause of the problem became obvious. A cat toy had been stuffed into the heat exchanger. With the toy removed, the furnace ran perfectly. Now, how did the toy get there? You can decide for yourself, but here's what mattered then and still matters now. The first company paid commissions to their service techs to sell new furnaces. At CARE, we pay our technicians to fix furnaces, not sell you a new one. And if a new furnace is needed, our team of replacement specialists will advise you on all options available and help you make your best choice. CARE Heating and Cooling. Call 1-800-COOLING when you need a company you can trust.
Do you suffer from leg pain, leg swelling, varicose veins, or leg ulcers? Dr. Joseph Senta and Dr. Barry Zeta at Ohio Vein and Vascular are pioneers in the vein and vascular field. They can perform minimally invasive procedures that will get you back on track to a pain-free life. Stop living with leg pain and start the process to healthy living with a free healthy leg screening. 3 locations to serve you at Polaris, Reynoldsburg, and now open downtown. Go to loveyourveins.com or call 614-426-VEIN. That's 614-426-VEIN or loveyourveins.com.
Hey, it's T-Bone again. Sleep apnea doesn't have to rule your nights. Sleep Better Columbus has been treating snoring and sleep apnea for over 15 years with proven results and now has an office open in Marysville. Call 1-800-MORE-SLEEP or go to sleepbettercolumbus.com. Stop snoring, sleep better, live better.
Sometimes, tough times are a test, a chance to prove ourselves. Colleen O'Donnell proved her grit in Laredo, Texas, when she served as an immigration judge and faced the worst of the worst: human smugglers, gang members, dangerous people. Colleen ordered them to be deported, never granted asylum once, and enforced the law to the letter. Now, Ohio needs tough leadership on the bench, so Colleen O'Donnell's running for Ohio Supreme Court as a constitutional conservative with 10 years of prior judicial experience. Ohio Right to Life PAC endorses Colleen for her devotion to our conservative values. America's toughest immigration sheriff, Richard Jones, endorses Colleen O'Donnell for her dedication to public safety. And the Ohio leaders we trust support Colleen O'Donnell for her unwavering loyalty to the rule of law and the Ohio State Constitution. The grit to lead, the experience to succeed. Colleen O'Donnell for Ohio Supreme Court.
Paid for by O'Donnell for Ohio.
All your favorite fan shows are on YouTube, along with those fake YouTube ads like Chew This Gum and It Grows New Teeth. Experience the splendor of Bo sitting in his closet, Timmy Hall's gouty gold chains, and Matty Ice wearing a coat in 90-degree weather. It's all there. Head to YouTube and subscribe today. Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Chances of showers and thunderstorms this afternoon, otherwise mostly cloudy, breezy and warm with highs in the upper 70s to low 80s. For tonight, partly cloudy overnight with lows in the 50s, and then for Friday, another mostly sunny day with highs in the low 80s. For The Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with the 10 Weather Impact Forecast.
Catch T-Bone and Tyvus weekday mornings from 6 to 9. If you're not completely satisfied, we'll rewind time and erase your brain. For real, The Fan. Their live golf team name is Ice Dogs. You're listening to Rothman and Ice.
You better change that one out to Live and Let Die. I was prophetic when I brought that to the table. We can let them live for a while. And, you know, somebody said to me the other day real quickly about, you know, did Live actually help the tour? And they did, right? It made the tour jack up their purses. And
shook the room a little bit.
It shook the room a little bit. But there's one thing I didn't mention yesterday to you guys. And you've noticed this in me. It lost me. Not just not wanting to watch Live. Mm-hmm. I think it ruined some of the golf fanaticism that I had when all the best players in the world.
TLC fired up. Fanaticism?
No.
Come on. That's not in the everyday bag. That's not in the everyday bag. Fanaticism?
I'm going to let him be the judge on this.
I honestly say no, because that's just a branch off of fanatics.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Fanaticism? How many people are dropping that on
we got Matty early in the show. He's trying for the quick slap back.
I'm just saying, people are listening like, I love it, but fanaticism is not in the everyday.
Ancillary was way above fanaticism. All right, anyway. And you've noticed this in me, and I'm going to be real honest with you. When some of the top world players broke off, I stopped watching.
You cooled on it, man.
I cooled on the tour.
Did.
Not in the majors, obviously not a Memorial, but everything else, yes. And I was Thursday through Sunday guy. I was fantasy golf. I was betting on it. I was watching it. I loved it. I love the traditional tour stops. And so, yes, did they help the guys here make more money? Of course. But what they won't be able to take a poll on is how many fans like me kind of dissolve their...
Turned you off a little bit. Yeah, take the
has.
victory lap. I'm here for that. I'm happy for you. I'm also happy for Buckeye fans because Saturday is the spring game, and the Fan has you covered. Join us Saturday morning at 10 for the Pelotonia Fan Tailgate Show. Live from Fan Fest, Anthony Rothman, Tim May, and Dave Biddle get you ready for kickoff. It's the Pelotonia Spring Game Fan Tailgate Show. Join the community passionate about ending cancer at pelotonia.org and presented by Key Bank. For every financial need, we'll meet you in the moment. Key Bank opens doors. You guys going to get washed out over there? Morning.
I thought you'd list yourself as a special guest.
I told you, hey, call me if you need me. I'll give you an inning or two, whatever you need.
You want to get some innings?
I'll come out of that bullpen door if you need me.
Yeah, no, listen, I don't know what the weather's going to be like. There's a thunderstorm emoji on my phone in the morning.
Maybe bring you in studio, you know?
Well, you got to do what you got to do. We got to be on the air.
Go on. Exactly.
That's right.
Exactly.
I mean, if it's pouring, no one's going to be standing out there listening to us, so we may as well be protected.
I hear you.
All right, so this is the one I'm having a little trouble with. This is something that Mike Tannenbaum brought up on Get Up, and I like the idea. I don't know if I'm willing to pay this price, but I would be willing to pay a price.
Okay.
Here it is.
Give me one more trade that might shake up the world.
Okay, Maxx Crosby traded from the Las Vegas Raiders to the Cincinnati Bengals for one first-round pick, the 10th pick overall. Ooh. Here's the idea. 6 weeks ago, he goes for 2 ones. That's not going to happen. You're Vegas, you still get a top 10 pick. And if you're the Cincinnati Bengals, and Greedy, you brought this up earlier in our production meeting. One, you desperately need a pass rusher, and this guy more than replaces Trey Hendrickson. But if you're in the business of keeping Joe Burrow happy, getting Maxx Crosby makes Joe Burrow happier to be a Bengal today than if they didn't have
Yes, because he's not just a great player, but he's a team leader, and he's a rough and tough, and he's exactly the kind of guy you want bringing that attitude.
Rough and tough. He's a macho man. Macho man. All right. So I like the idea of it. I do. And I asked you the question during the break. If the Bengals have a pretty decent defense, can they win the Super Bowl?
I said yes.
Yeah, and you said yes. And I think a lot of people believe they have enough, certainly offensively. And now, I don't think the Bengals were the team that was going to swoop in after that everything failed with the Raiders and the Ravens, but they would at a certain price. I've always been, because I remember when the Ravens offered what they offered to Maxx Crosby, I looked at you and said, risky business, 29 years old, knee problem. And then people were telling me, well, the only people that are saying he's got a knee problem are the Ravens. Like everybody else is saying, nope, he's all right. And so, but he did fail their physical.
He did?
Not a physical. He failed their physical, and that's subjective. So I could see why Bengal fans might want him on their team. But he's still 29 years old, and he is coming off of a knee injury, and I don't think I'd give up pick 10. What I would do is I'd look at my picks and say, well, I got pick 41, and I can add to it. So what if I give you pick 41 and a first-rounder next year? A conditional first-rounder next year based on certain incentives that Max would have to reach with us this year that would turn that into something special for you. Would you like that trade as I GM that to you?
Yeah.
Or would you counter, or would that not be enough? 41 and next year one conditionally.
And next year's 1?
Yeah.
So a 2 that can turn into a 1?
Correct.
If he does what?
Well, it would based on how much playing time and how many plays, that kind of thing.
That's a little risky for me. If I'm the Raiders, I need just your 1 straight up. That would make me feel better.
Remember, next year's draft's pretty strong.
That's why I want it.
They're a team that's building. They're not a win now.
Doesn't feel that way.
And they're looking to and they know they have to take a haircut off what they were getting from the Ravens.
I'd probably say GM Rothman over there in the jungle, I just need your 1 straight up.
Sharpen your pencil?
I don't want a 2 that can turn into a 1. I just need your first-round pick next year. Where are we at now with the deal?
Presumably will be good. So that'll help.
Mid to late 20s is the hope.
That would be helpful. Thank you. You've been helpful.
Go ahead, AR.
That turns into 2 firsts. And one's a 10.
No, you're giving me your 2 this year, and then I just want your 1 next year. Yeah. Right? So you're giving me 41 and your 1. I'm honestly, though.
Yeah, that might not be too bad, presuming that he would be really good. I'd love to make it a conditional one because if you're trading me a guy that a lot of people think are damaged goods, you should have no problem. I would call you up and say, GM Ice, wait a minute. You said his knee's fine. Yeah. So, and now
we'd be at an impasse there. We would. That'd be a tough spot because
you got to give me a little insurance off this failed physical.
Okay. I honestly, going back to Tannenbaum's real quick, AR.
Yep.
If the medicals check out, and that's obviously the biggest hold up in all of this stuff with Maxx Crosby, because I'm sure some other teams were interested after the whole Ravens thing fell apart.
Let our doctors take a look at him.
So let's say if they flew him into Cincinnati, their doctors and trainers and all those people that are involved
fly him into Columbus and drive him down.
Exactly.
That's what Cincinnati would. It's cheaper going into Columbus.
Something they would do. And they sign off on the medicals. I actually would be okay with them giving up their 10th pick this year. Because if you're in the mindset of, if you're Duke Tobin right now, that we want one of the pass rushers, Bailey, Reese, Bain, whoever it may be, and probably not going to get Arvell because he's probably going in the top 5. It seems like it's going that way. I'd actually be okay with that because you brought in a Brian Cook as a new guy in the back end as a safety, as a veteran player from Kansas City, and I just don't think that they should be living in this world of hoping that the Murphys and the Stewarts go. If they come along, fine. But
you get him.
That's what I'm saying. You drop him in there, then you don't have to worry about, hey, these guys, we're putting all this pressure on them. And I know they brought in another pass rusher from Seattle that they paid money to, so clearly they believe in him. But I would actually be on board with that, with them giving up 10 if, and that's a massive if in caps lock right now, the medicals checked out. I'd give up the 10th pick for Maxx Crosby right now.
Initially, I was, and then I stepped back and said, now, hold on. He's going to be a 30-year-old guy coming off a knee injury. Let's hold up, playa.
But you're in your window, though, right? As a team.
That's it. The Bengals have never kind of pushed the chips into the middle. They've just never felt like that to me. Obviously, the Burrow contract told everybody they knew what they had.
Yeah.
And certainly paying the receiver. And
you know what he is, man. When he's right and he's out there, he is he's in that inner circle of pass rushers that can get home all the time, and he's good against the run. And they had a horrible run defense last year.
Would this be wrong to go to Joe and say, we need to restructure? Like Tannenbaum said, let's make you happy. Like
I don't think it's wrong, and I actually think he would be like, yeah, we're getting Maxx Crosby?
Yeah,
tweak it.
Green Bay sent 2 firsts to the Cowboys for Micah.
For Micah.
Yeah, and a player.
Micah's what, 26 though, 27? Where's he at right now? A few years younger, I think.
Yeah, well, you'd have to check birthdays on that, but I mean, that's an interesting case, what he dropped today. I kind of like it, but I'd love to get him to bite on 41 and a conditional first.
Yeah, Micah's 26.
That would tell me how badly they feel. Well, it'll tell me 2 things. If they bite too soon, then they feel like the knee maybe they know more than I know. So if I'm them, this is like, you know what this is? When I'm playing online poker.
Who are you playing against? When you're doing just some randos
people.
Okay. I didn't know if you had bots. I didn't know if you had a community or something. Some of your homies.
No, I don't think they're bots.
Oh,
I get a lot of friend requests. They don't look like bots to me.
Do they have the link in their bio?
They got a picture. It could be a Manti Te'o thing. I'm not sure. But anyway, so when I know what I got and someone's raising me, I could snap call. If I snap call, that could send 2 signals. I either got it and I got you, or I'm bluffing. So I get that. But my nature says, I know what I got. Wait.
Okay.
Don't snap.
I got you.
And I think if that's what the Raiders would be, like, all right, let's that's the game that's probably being played in the NFL. All right, we're going to come back with our friend Mike Renner, CBS Sports, and we'll get his opinion on this and more next. Rothman Ice and the Fan.
The new Omaha Steak Store is now open at 1033 Polaris Parkway at Polaris Commons. Stop in today and save 50% store-wide on legendary steaks, burgers, and more. Plus, get doorbuster deals starting at just $19.99. Discover the Omaha Steaks difference today at the new store at Polaris Commons in Columbus.
Working your way through that home projects list, that means more flushes, more showers, more fiddling with the thermostat. Trust the pros at the Waterworks with your plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling needs. Our certified pros can repair or replace your air conditioner or furnace. Clogs? Call the Waterworks. Drain issues? Call the Waterworks. Plumbing problems? Call the Waterworks. HVAC breakdowns? Call the Waterworks. The Waterworks. Trusted and certified plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling experts.
This is Gordon Miller from Miller Lending, the original home of the no-cost mortgage. Back in 1989, when I first went on the radio to introduce this whole no closing cost concept, where you could actually close on your mortgage without the lender taking $15,000, I had no idea if I had created the next pet rock fad of the day or something that would define my career over the course of the next 37 years. But once mortgage rates fell from 9 down to 6, our business exploded and I never looked back. You see, a no-cost loan is the only consumer-friendly mortgage where the homeowner actually holds all the cards. Short funds to close, eliminate thousands of dollars in closing costs. Rates are now down almost 2% from the peak, but you're holding off due to the cost of a refi? Not anymore. So let's start you down that path of eliminating closing costs once and for all and keep that money where it belongs, with you. 877-9-NO-COST. That's 877-9-NO-COST. Or simply apply online at nocostmortgage.com. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender and MLS number 250-2146.
Columbus, get a new Ford with special financing for everyone at Capital Ford of Columbus. Save up to $10,000 off MSRP on remaining 2025 Ford Escapes in stock. We have options for all. Deals end April 30th. Visit CapitalFordofColumbus.com now.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Always as tender as a well-done steak. This is Rothman and Ice.
All right, we are... What day is today?
A week away.
My goodness.
Exactly a week away.
We're a week away.
Yeah.
So we tap into our guy, Mike Renner, CBS Sports, Shrine Bowl scout, and a lot more with us on the Bryan Heating Cooling Systems Fangus Hotline. Mike, welcome back.
Hey, fellas. How you doing today? Thanks for having me.
Outstanding. Thank you for the time. Let me get your first knee-jerk reaction to this. If you were the Bengals, would you trade pick 10 for Maxx Crosby? Or would and if they would take, or maybe it would take more for the Raiders, but I think they know they would be selling him at a discount now off the Ravens' failed physical. Maybe they don't think they have to, but does that sound good from the Bengals side, or no? Too rich?
I think it's a little too much, to be honest, just because the injury, his age, and the fact that I don't want to say it's not a need for the Bengals, but you got 2 first-rounders at that position over the past 3 years, and you have a guy who you paid $20+ million to in Boye Mafe. So you got a lot invested there. I know it's a lot for not great results, but I think you need some more investment and some more resources going to other positions on this roster, especially when you could be getting a guy with, given how many snaps he's played over his career, because he never comes off the field, where I don't know if he's going to be the same guy 2 years from now that he is the past couple.
Mike, let's stay with the Bengals. When you look at some of the potential defensive players that are going to be available for them at 10, what do you think would be the best fit? Like Duke Tobin in there, and they're watching the board just fall to them at 10. Who would be the ideal defensive player for them to draft at 10, in your opinion?
I think it's Caleb Downs. I think he's exactly what the secondary was missing last year. And even after signing Brian Cook, I think they can cohabitate. And his versatility, leadership, reliability, it's all what you didn't have on this Bengals team. And I know safety is, quote unquote, devalued position. It doesn't cost a lot to pay those guys in free agency, but it's because there's not a lot of game changers. There's not a lot of guys who are like a Kyle Hamilton. And when they do, they are truly, different. They do make a big impact on your defense. So I think he is the highest floor player in the class, and he's the right away guy. Like, he'll make an impact day one for this team.
All right, let me dig a little deeper on that. Let's say, and listen, obviously defense is certainly a priority and a primary focus for them. Let's say Caleb's not there. Would you go corner? One of the maybe the kid from LSU, would that be or too high?
Now, I prefer the Tennessee kid, Jermod McCoy, just because for the Bengals specifically, if you drafted Mansour Delane, and he's a darn good player, don't get me wrong, but he's, 5'10", 5'11", 184, and you have DJ Turner, who's already one of the smallest corners in the NFL, and Delane's not a slot guy, and Turner's not either. So Dax Hill's the guy with slot experience there. So your two outside corners weigh about 360 pounds between them. That, to me, is just, you're going to struggle against bigger wide receivers if you don't have an answer for them. So that's my only worry about drafting Mansour Delane and why I prefer McCoy, whereas McCoy's like 6 foot, 193 with, 6'6" wingspan and really can be a more physical outside sort of corner. So I prefer McCoy, but obviously the injury with him is the biggest red flag.
So it just seems like the first overall pick is going to be a lock, right, with Mendoza going to the Raiders. But, Mike, I want to ask you this, just after watching him throughout his collegiate career and just looking at all the tape the way that you do, how far off do you think he is from being a starter in the NFL? We know they have Kirk Cousins, but do you think it's going to take him a long time to play in the league, or do you feel like because of his experience he may be able to figure it out sooner rather than later?
I think it's pretty soon. I don't advocate for starting anyone week one in the NFL their rookie year just because they don't know what it's like to be a pro. It's the shortest off season of their lives, right? And no one ever goes and gets a playbook at the end of April for a season that starts in September at any level of football. So to me, because of that, I like giving a guy a few weeks into the season to really get him wet. But that's 3 or 4 weeks. He should be ready by then, in my opinion, and especially when you got a guy in Clint Kubiak as the head coach who's notably been one of the best quarterback, sort of developers, game planners over the NFL the past 2 years. I think he'll have Mendoza up to speed very quickly.
If the Browns do trade number 6 and trade back, and let's say they trade back hypothetically with the Cowboys and go to 12, are they missing out on a ton there from 6 to 12? Like, are you thinking that maybe they could get a player there at 6 that would drastically dwarf what they could have at 12?
No, absolutely not. Honestly, especially considering their needs, because I think everyone assumes they're going to go wide receiver and tackle in the first round, right? That's just like their two strong positions, their two biggest needs. I think that's a pretty safe bet. If you ask, 5 different respected analysts, their wide receiver one or their OT one, you might get 5 different answers at both positions. So trading back in this class and drafting, say, the second offensive lineman on the board at 12 instead of the first at 6, it might actually be the guy they had at the top of their board. It's just one of those years where there's no consensus, obvious, Joe Alt, Penei Sewell staring at you where it's like, yeah, if you pass on him, what the heck are you doing? That's just not the case this year. So you could trade back to 12, you could trade back to 20, and maybe still get the guy who's your top tackle or maybe even your top wide receiver. It's just a weird class like that.
Jeremiah Love's been connected to a bunch of the teams, within the top 10 throughout the all season. But I want to ask it to you this way, Mike. If you're Jeremiah Love, where should he want to go to have the most success right out of the gate? Like, what's a good team fit for his skill set to where he could hit the ground running and be the best running back he could possibly be?
Yeah, you always want to go to a place that has a good offensive line. I think that's first and foremost what I'm thinking about. The Bengals would be an awesome spot for him. Now, will he fall at 10? I absolutely doubt it. But their offensive line towards the end of last year was playing exceptional football. And there he would not obviously get the workload. You wouldn't get the miles on the tires that you would at other places, but you'd be used a lot in the passing game too. So you just get a lot of play in space. So I think that'd be a fun landing spot. Again, I doubt it happens. I think more realistically, a cool landing spot for him would be the Titans. I think their offensive line is heading in the right direction in terms of all they've invested in recent years. And I think that, having Cam Ward there it would be such a fun backfield to root for.
Mike Renner with us, CBS Sports Talking Draft on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Gets Hotline. All right, we got potentially 4 Buckeyes in the top 10. Arvell Reese, Sonny Styles, Caleb Downs, and Carnell Tate. If one doesn't make the top 10, which one would it be?
It's a great question. I think it's, unfortunately, Caleb Downs, if anyone falls, just because of the nature of the safety position, the fact that he would be, the smallest top 10 safety in recent memory. It's, not fair because the guy, in terms of like on the field, I think he was actually the best of the bunch. at this point in his career, like throughout his career, but it's just the nature of the position. I think all four go, though. I think you'll see all four. It's the first time it would happen since 1967, so it would be a crazy story if so.
The most intriguing team with 2 first-round picks this year, in your mind, is whom?
I think it's the Dallas Cowboys because they're close. I mean, like, this team is down the stretch last year. If they traded for Quinn Williams, like, this was a real good football team. They really just need to hit a couple, honestly, just like doubles on this defense. Hit like 2 impact guys on this defense, and all of a sudden you are maybe the best team in the East, right up there with some of the best teams in the NFL, just because your offense is a juggernaut. So the Cowboys are very interesting to me because they aren't that far away and have a lot of draft capital here.
Mike, it's always great to talk to you, buddy. Thanks for the insight. We'll talk soon. Appreciate you.
For sure, fellas. Appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Friend Mike Renner, CBS Sports on the Bryan Heating Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline.
Folks, if you're looking for a new vehicle, listen closely. I want to direct you to the wonderful folks at the McDaniel GM Superstore in Marion because spring is here, so it's the perfect time to get you a new car. The McDaniel GM Superstore is going to treat you like family, just like they did me. You check out their website, you're going to see over 200 new vehicles. They believe in nothing but transparency with every car deal that they do. And trust me when I tell you, transparency is exactly what they're selling and living by. That is the case because I felt so good going in and out of that building and leaving with a new car. They have a 2026 Silverado 1500. You can save up to $13,000 off MSRP and rates as low as 1.9% if you finance. Terms and restrictions apply. It's not a long drive to Marion. Trust me, it's worth it. Get on up there because they're going to take care of you right now if you're looking for a new vehicle. So check out the McDaniel GM Superstore today. Chevrolet, together, let's drive.
All right. Multitasking here. I just got in a Nerfy bet on the Reds and Giants.
Okay.
So
Chase Burns
see
on the bump down there.
You and I both have Burns.
Looking for the sweep. You just better hope Sal Stewart does it coming to the plate because he is cooking right now.
I know. Woo. It's always tough to bet a Nerfy down in Cincinnati, too, with that park.
Great American launching pad, as J. Lou calls it.
A lot of fans disguised as empty seats today.
And, day game, a little Thursday. A little 12:30 game. Be nice to be there.
I could probably got into those Lexus seats right there behind the deal. I got to do that. One of these days.
The three of us need to get down there.
Well, work it out. It's your squad.
Take a day off, the three of us.
Yeah, let's go.
The same day.
We'll all bring our gloves to the park.
No, not allowing it.
All right, we've got a transfer revealing a regret. We'll tell you who and what next. Rothman and Ice in the Fan.
If you miss a live show, you can catch the podcast. If you miss the podcast, our hosts have volunteered to have dinner with you.
The meatloaf!
The Fan.
Hey there, friends. It's Bo Bishop here. You know High Bank for their award-winning spirits, but the food deserves just as much love. Enjoy happy hour with friends, brunch with family, and dinner that never misses. Make your reservation today at highbankco.com. Dine, drink, distill at High Bank.
Hey, it's Anthony. By now you know my good feet story, but the point I try to get across is that it's an ongoing one for me. For as long as I can remember, it's always been about my lower back. But when I got fitted for my personal arch supports, it's been an absolute game changer. I feel better. They take all the stress off my back. I feel supported and aligned, and you don't hear me complain about it the way I used to. I could feel the difference instantly, and I didn't have to wait to feel that difference. Once I got fitted, popped them in my shoes, took the test walk around the store, and now on a daily basis, everything feels better. And that's what I mean about an ongoing story. This journey to feeling more comfortable makes everything better. You can make an appointment online or just stop into the Good Feet store in Grove City or the one on Polaris Parkway in Westerville, and their experts will personally fit you. Then do what I did. Take a test walk around, and you will feel the difference. Do your feet a favor. Get started at goodfeet.com.
Spring showers revealing roofing or siding issues? Trust the pros at Newman Roofing for expert care, white glove service, and quality you can count on. Schedule your estimate today and take advantage of special financing options. Call 614-NEW-ROOF or visit newmanroofing.com today.
When you saw your heating bills this winter, did you think this is out of control? The problem is your house is leaking money, and the only thing higher than your heating bills are your cooling bills. Steve here from USA Insulation. Let us fix your energy bill problem for good. If you aren't foam insulated, you really aren't insulated. For $99 a month, interest-free, we'll foam your home and help cut those energy bills. 529-2440 or usainsulation.net.
USA Insulation.
Hey folks, it's Jeremy Birmingham Berm here from the Austin and Berm Show on 97.1 The Fan. After hitting maintenance with Awaken 180, I kind of thought that was the whole deal. All right, cool. Don't be an idiot now. Don't gain it back. Stay under 200 pounds. That was the win. But then maintenance did something I really didn't expect. I lost another 5 pounds for free. I'm now down 40 pounds, further under 200, and that's the part about Awaken 180 that still cracks me up a little bit. Because people hear maintenance and think it means barely hanging on, eating celery in the dark and trying not to blow it. That's not this. I'm eating pizza. I can have ice cream. I'm living like a normal person. The difference is I'm not fighting myself all day, or if I'm wondering what one weekend away from the plan could ruin the whole thing. Awaken 180 just didn't help me lose the weight. It taught me how to live in a way where I'm not headed right back to where I started. The last 5 pounds in free maintenance, that tells you everything. Awaken180weightloss.com. Go there now and give it a chance and see how it can help you take control of your life and your health the way it did for me. Awaken180weightloss.com.
Spring is here, and there's no better place to make memories than the Columbus Zoo. See tigers up close, watch playful otters, and see the baby elephants in action. For a limited time, take advantage of our Zoo After 2 p.m. deal. Plan your adventure at columbuszoo.org.
Did your HVAC struggle through this rough winter? When it comes to your home comfort, trust the local experts at Columbus Worthington Air. Right now, you can save up to $2,000 on a new HVAC system with our trade-in allowance program. At CWA, we treat your home like it's our own with safe, reliable service backed by our exceptional service guarantee. Columbus Worthington Air and Bryant Heating and Cooling. Whatever it takes. Visit CWAOhio.com/radio for details, terms, and conditions. License number 47543.
Care Heating and Cooling. Honest technicians, honest pricing. Call 1-800-COOLING.
How many different ways can you consume morning juice? Let's see.
Live on YouTube, live on the Fans HD3, podcast on demand, and on 10 TV Plus.
And we'll send Bobby right to your house.
Weekday mornings from 6 to 8.
The Fan.
The Fan Poll is sponsored by JT's Pizza and Pub, home of award-winning pizza and 32-ounce Yingling drafts for only $4. Dog friendly. And if you ain't down with that, this is Rothman and Ice.
We both thought this was a wild transfer. Dylan Raiola, a.k.a. Patrick Mahomes.
Baby Pat.
So it was one of the more weird additions, right, to the Oregon Ducks team this year. So Dylan Raiola, who leaves Nebraska, and he was kind of reflecting on, I just saw TLC like fist pumping in there, and I wasn't sure why.
The Pirates are playing right now.
Okay, we're watching the Reds in here, and he's got the Pirates on in there. I get it. We're out of the inning, right? I'm halfway to the Nerfing.
We're good. Chase Burns got you out of there. We're good.
Now I got to root against your team. Sorry.
I'm going for 3 out of 4 in division lead.
You guys are, 11 dubs already?
Yeah.
Playing well. Brennan Lau. Nobody picked him in the Dinger draft.
Nope.
He's like first or second, I think, in the league.
Wish I did.
Yeah, he's going crazy.
So he played for the Cornhuskers for 2 seasons, Raiola, and it was all about the Mahomes, right? It was just the whole thing. Every headline.
The headband, the haircut, the arm sleeve, the way he wore.
Which I'm okay with as long as he would have said, he's my favorite player. I grew up loving him. I idolize the guy. And if I can be an ounce of what he is. But instead, it was like, you guys are seeing things.
And then he kind of really zagged on us when he was like, oh, it's all about kind of Tebow. Tebow's my guy. Oh, interesting. Okay. Like you're 3 years old, I guess, when Tebow was cooking. But YouTube's available and all that. But that's neither here nor there. We know through his actions, he's a Mahomes guy. And if I was a quarterback, that's the guy that I absolutely would look up to, too, and want to model my game after. He's one of the best.
So I'm very grateful for the time I had in Nebraska. Very grateful for the coaches, the people, the fans, everyone I came across. But like you said, you can't emulate game speed reps, and I think there's a lot of instances of things that I could have did better to kind of propel our team to win. So he's got some regrets on how he was playing in Nebraska, but now he's at Oregon.
Oh, yeah.
And
they're in Eugene.
It's not his job.
It is not. It is for sure Dante Moore's gig. And Dylan, they're doing spring ball and all that stuff. And so he's been speaking to the media, and he kind of took us inside his mindset as to where he is now and why he felt Oregon was a good fit for him.
And obviously you were a starter immediately in Nebraska. Mm-hmm. You're coming to Oregon where there's no guarantee that it'd be the case. Absolutely. Why were you willing to make that, sacrifice to come here?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's just
obviously you got to humble yourself. I'd be lying if I say it didn't take a couple practices to kind of get used to it. But at the same time, it's all learning, and it's all trying to, eventually achieve the goal of mine and obviously of Dante's right now. And that's our whole room's goal is to get Dante to where he wants to go. And it's a great person to learn from.
I think that's a really good perspective, AR, for a guy that, he used the phrase humbling himself, because for the majority of his football life, he's never really had to do that, right? Like, this has been a guy that was massive recruit and had this and had all that right there in the palm of his hands. And then you mentioned the journey to Nebraska. Obviously, that did not go well, but to make this decision and go to Oregon where he knows he's not going to play right now unless something happens to Dante in the form of an injury or something, off the field for, that we don't see coming. This is a guy that is really, I think, hitting the reset button in a good way. And I think it's cool. But I also think it's a situation to where he can trust what's happening out there, because the guy that's going to play for Oregon week in and week out, and Dante Moore, did a similar thing. Dante Moore transferred in from UCLA, where there wasn't really the cleanest path to playing time right away, because we went through the whole Bo Nix situation. You go through Dylan Gabriel and all of that, and he had to wait his time. And so I think that's what you can sell, or probably part of the selling process from Dan Lanning and his crew was, look at what we've done with guys, and look at where they've been drafted in the league, with Dylan being a third-round pick and Bo being a first-round pick. And if Dante was coming out next Thursday, he'd probably be the second overall pick in the draft. And so he could wait his time and trust the process out there in Eugene. And I just think it's pretty cool perspective from a guy that's really having to change gears in his career right now.
I want to take him at his word, because I don't know why anybody would do this unless he did it and it was an error. Like, I thought I was going to be the guy. I thought he was leaving. And then if I pull ripcord again from another place, I'm just going to look like some kind of malcontent, prima donna. I'm not going to be a guy that is trusted, that I'm only about myself. So maybe being a backup quarterback, he is leaning into that. Everybody thinks and believes that he has an elite arm and that he can throw it deep, that he could be an NFL quarterback. I'm not so sure about his mobility. I think it probably would have to be a little better, and I don't know how he's going to get better at that. I watched him up close and personal in Bloomington and not look good against Indiana. But back then, I didn't really know what Indiana was going to be. So it was maybe I should now put that into the right context. That,
one of the tougher tests out there.
Tougher, but yeah, and the durability, right? I think we won't know about his durability if he's not playing. Right. Because he did come out. He's
coming off an injury.
He's coming off an injury.
Yeah.
So now I'm just trying to think ahead. Like, he went to 4 different high schools and 3 years of different like, he's been kind of this guy that just bounces around, and maybe.
Oh, I got word for you.
Yeah.
Let me cue it up. I'm ready. Vagabond.
Vagabond.
I like that.
Thank you.
I was thinking, it's weird. I've conditioned myself on the show now to not say that, so I don't get the siren. The word that I was thinking about saying was...
I just turned it into a positive.
Like a nomad.
Yeah, that's a good one, too.
Yeah, that's...
they mean the exact same thing.
Yeah.
I'll get that one, too.
That's the name. It's only 2 syllables. Does that count?
Nomad is pretty irregular.
Yeah, nomad, I don't think is in a lot of people's bags.
Mentally irregular.
Whatever TLC said is definitely not in any bags.
Vagabond.
That sounds like a villain in like a Harry Potter movie or something.
Yeah, it was when Kramer called Peterman, Mr. Peterson, you can have your stories back, you vagabond. That's a line. Giddy up.
That's a drop.
I would say that's what he's starting to quiet now. 2 things. My obsession with Patrick Mahomes. That's
which he doesn't need to turn the volume down on, in my opinion. I don't think it's a problem.
No, but I think it became
creepy,
a narrative around him, and I think if he doesn't want, it's not, because I think what happens is people then start believing that you think you are him, and then you're never going to play like him, not right away, and so you're setting yourself up for a bad comparison, right? Why would you compare yourself to a future Hall of Famer?
Right.
Now, and I don't think he's doing that. I think he likes him. I think he's a young guy who he had a little bit of starstruck. I'm a quarterback. I like Mahomes. Like,
there's a lot of people that have done that. Like Kobe did it with Mike. You look at Kobe, some of the side-by-side with Mike.
LeBron did the chalk. That was Mike's. Forever.
I don't know about that.
Okay.
No, I don't know about that. No, like
What?
Mike never threw it to the sky. That's
Mike went over there and did
there's
this.
no highlights of Mike doing that exactly.
LeBron took it to
No
whatever
way.
level
That's
he wanted,
LeBron's
but
thing.
LeBron plucked that from Mike.
That is LeBron's thing. That's his
Mike
thing.
would go to the scores table and Red Kerr and do the.
There's a whole bunch of people that do that. LeBron took it to a whole nother level. You know what I'm saying? Throw it to the sky. Reach for the sky.
I'm not buying that.
Real quick.
23. Tell me that wasn't about Mike.
He's
then.
admitted that.
Okay.
For sure. But the powder, that white powder?
Yes. I think that was Mike. Talc up. I do.
Oh, but I don't have. Look.
The white powder.
You know. Where can I find a good 8-ball? Right.
We're all curious. Well, real quick with Dylan, it only takes 1 year.
Over there. Exactly. Maddie's out.
What are you storing on? I got nothing after that.
All right, top of the hour, sports update. Dave Metzold in studio. CBJ, ringside reporter. Just a lot swirling over there. A coach about to announce a contract here, and we'll get his take on it next. Rothman and Ice in the Fan. Giddy up.
Catch the latest from the world of Ohio State athletics. Weeknights at 6 on the Buckeye Show. New special guests in everything scarlet and gray. The Fan.
Ready to make it rain on the court for a great cause? It's the 3v3 Hoops Tournament at Ohio State University RPAC. Saturday, May 2nd from 12 to 4. Hosted by NBA legend Kenny Anderson. Grab your 3 and let's see who the best trio in Columbus. For your shot at a share of $10,000 in cash. Register now at classicforcolumbus.com. That's classicforcolumbus.com.
Presented by the Franklin County Board of Commissioners, Office of Economic Engagement and Community Development, and America 250 Ohio.
The great thing about Atlas Butler is they do it all. Heating, cooling, plumbing. Look, I'm busy with work. I don't have time to wait around or deal with lots of people. One company, one call, and they do it all. Wonder if they'll clean out my inbox. Seriously, offer that service. Please.
Atlas Butler is at your service. Call 1-800-FURNACE.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Now is the time to call Comer & Cross and transform your garage with a gleaming new Comer & Cross garage floor. Maybe your garage floor has exposed concrete with stains and cracks or a bad epoxy or paint job. Well, a new Comer & Cross garage floor will transform your entire garage in just one day. Now, here's the great part of this whole story. If you call them right now, they're going to take 50% off installation. Yeah, that's right, 50% off installation from Comer & Cross when you call them today at 1-800-NEW-FLOOR. A Comer & Cross garage floor is the gold standard, guaranteed to never chip, crack, or show tire lift like epoxy or paint ever. Plus, they make it easy. They'll take your stuff out of the garage for you. They'll fix your cracks and pits perfectly like it's a new garage floor, and then they'll apply the proprietary finish that you pick. Yeah, I said it. They'll fix your cracks and pits. What's wrong with that? That's what you want. So call them today at 1-800-NEW-FLOOR to get 50% off installation. That's 1-800-NEW-FLOOR. Or go to comercross.com.
Last year, we had 295 trials where we've been offered a total of $90 million on all those cases. When the dust settled, we had recovered over $1.1 billion in verdicts and mid-trial settlements. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. We became America's largest injury firm for a reason. We won a lot, $30 billion and counting. The best part of all those wins is that it helps you when you hire us. All those wins allow us to let the insurance company know we mean business. And believe me, they know who we are. If you've been injured, Google Morgan & Morgan results. You're not bragging if it's a fact. 3 million people tried to hire us last year alone. That happened for a reason. Visit forthepeople.com and let's get started this minute. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com.
Morgan & Morgan, Ohio office located at 600 Vine Street, Cincinnati. Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome.
Getting a little older doesn't have to mean, well, getting older. This is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health. And if you're feeling low energy, can't sleep, can't lose weight, or struggling with brain fog, or your sex drive is off, it's time to change it up. At Tri-State Men's Health, our advanced medical strategies featuring TRT, GH peptides, NAD+, GLP-1s, and more treat low T and other hormonal issues to help you shed pounds, have more energy, enhance your body composition, improve sleep, increase your sex drive, and so much more, getting you back in the game again. So don't be older. Be stronger in the gym, be sharper at work, be better in the bedroom, and be more confident in every part of your life. So call us today and find out how our advanced treatment strategies could change the game for you. Your first visit is just $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start on one of our advanced treatment plans on the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 800-900-9654 or go to tristatemenshealth.com.
Feature therapies are compounded and have not been evaluated nor approved by the FDA. Provider prescription required. See website for details.
Welcome back to the Financial Playbook. I'm Laura DeLeon, KeyBank Market President, and I'm with wide receiver Jeremiah Smith.
Laura, my favorite play has to be the pass it on play. It's a fundamental way to support your community.
The quarterback pitches to Jeremiah, who budgets for a pass to causes he cares about, into the end zone, scoring a donation for his community. So generous.
It's a play to make it if you love giving back, Laura.
You heard it here, folks. Until next time, KeyBank opens doors.
KeyBank, member FDIC.
Matty Ice here. Do you need a vehicle that has room for the whole family? Then check out the 26 Chevrolet Traverse at McDaniel GM Superstore in Marion. This month, lease a brand new 26 Traverse for as low as $379 a month for 39 months for $3,998. Due at signing for qualified buyers. Terms and conditions apply. See dealer for details. Deal ends April 30th, so don't wait. Visit McDaniel GM Superstore, located off 23095 in Marion, or online at McDanielGMSuperstore.com. Chevrolet, together, let's drive.
Broadcasting live from the McDaniel GM Superstore Studios. Driving excellence since 1916. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. WBNS HD1 Columbus.
Good afternoon. I'm Ryan Baker. Earlier today, right here on The Fan, Aaron Porchline broke the news that the Columbus Blue Jackets and Rick Bowness had reached an agreement on a contract extension for Bones to remain the head coach. The deal is expected to be officially announced at a 2 p.m. press conference today with Bones and general manager Don Waddell. Down at Great American Ballpark right now, the Cincinnati Reds trying to sweep the San Francisco Giants. They're through 1.5, and they are tied scoreless. You can hear that over on The Fan 2 right now. Over at Huntington Park, they're in the bottom of the third, and the Clippers trail the Iowa Cubs 7-3. The Cleveland Guardians back at Progressive Field tonight, starting a series with the Baltimore Orioles at 6. Parker Messick makes the start for Cleveland opposite Shane Baz. This one's sponsored by BMI Federal Credit Union, voted Best Credit Union for the past 8 years in a row by CBUS Top Picks. Visit BMIFCU.org to learn more.
Hitting a hole in one into your ear hole. Ew. This is Rothman and Ice.
All right, about 58 minutes from now, Don Waddell will hold a presser with his full-time head coach, Rick Bowness. The man who's ringside, the man who's in the locker room, the man that's in the bowels of the stadium.
Oh, boy.
Is with us now. My good friend Dave Metzel for so many years. Good to have you, brother.
Hey, nice to be in the studio. You know, I haven't been to the new place yet. This is fantastic.
You like the decor?
I do like it. Needs to be more Blue Jackets
bare
stuff.
walls and stuff.
Right. We got a whole studio over there for the Blue Jackets. We'll have to run you in there. You'll like it over. Yeah, actually, they'll probably want you to sign the wall before you get out of here.
That's
the Blue
fine.
Jackets wall over there.
Sure.
We'll have to make that happen.
Haven't scored a goal, haven't saved a puck, but sure, I'll sign the wall.
Yeah, I was going to say, Maddie. Maybe Maddie spoke too soon.
Maybe the bottom
Dave
of the
was
wall.
supposed to sign the wall. We reserve that for players and coaches.
Yeah, right.
Well, it's good to see you. And you've been involved in this a long time. And I came in the day after they were eliminated, and my only point that I think was missing the mark was that I feel like, and I know this is maybe unrealistic, and Maddie talked me off the ledge, is that what I hated was that this season got lopped on the heap of garbage that people were putting on. And I was like, and I said, hey, this is sins of the father. The years past compiles, and it all gets rolled into one. And I felt like this year maybe did not deserve. They went through a coaching change. They battled their asses off to get back in it. But it was different because last year they go into the offseason on a heater in the win for Johnny year, and everything's okay because it was so unexpected. This year, it was unexpected for them to get back in it when they did, and now they're thinking playoffs, and let's print the shirts and buy the tickets, and then the rug gets pulled out. That's the one the fans couldn't handle. They couldn't handle this year. Last year, was about the tragedy and all that. This year was, wait a minute, we were supposed to be good. What happened?
You're dead on it. And I got a couple of neighbors who can't wait until the jackets start to sag. And then they come out of their house and they tell me, same old jacket, same old. And they were all over me, ready to go. And then this happened, right? Bones comes in. Here we go. Second in the Metro, ready to go to the postseason. And you said it. The rug gets pulled out. And that's what hurts the most. That's what hurts the most is because of that. Because of that, you forget what Bowness did. You forget the bonus bump. You forget all of it. You forget all the great things that happened. Forget it. Same old team, same old jackets. Here we go again. What are we going to do next year? And I hate that.
That's the only part.
I hate that. All the stats are resurrected. All the irrelevant comments, all of that stuff is all resurrected. I hate it.
I think Mets, and I agree with you guys, I think what happens is when the final result of not being at the dance is a similar result to what you've had, unfortunately, for a few
100%.
years now. I think that's where that emotion kicks in, and it's hard maybe for fans to say, well, we had that great run just a couple months ago. I was like, oh, we're not at the dance. And I think that's what's tough for people going back and that emotion being triggered again.
There's no question about it. I said that's what people want. That's what we all want. We want success for our teams. And it was taken away. It was taken away by, let's be honest, a poor performing team, a team that couldn't handle it, a team that maybe couldn't handle the richness of what they were going through and just lost their grip on it. Yeah, there were injuries. A couple of players yesterday referencing the injuries. Oh, I don't want to use it as an excuse, but yeah, well, you're using it as an excuse. It happened, but still, you lose those last 6 at home. Brutal. Yeah. You lose leads to San Jose and Boston at home on a weekend. Brutal.
3-0 third period.
Yeah. And that stuff, you have PTSD over it, right? You're like, oh, yeah, I went through that. I remember 2006 we went through. Yeah, sure. I remember that game I went to on a Saturday night, full building, and they lost a 4-0 lead in the third. Oh, yeah, we've all been through it.
Yeah, we want to believe it was different. And I think, first of all, I think every season isn't the same. They're not. But here, I get it because it compiles. It was the same thing that Ohio State basketball went through, that it was more like, how many years have you missed the tournament? And it is tough to judge them individually. Now, what Bones said after game 82, I took it as that's very genuine. I think he got him here. I think he wanted to be back. He is going to be back. And at the time, Mets, I think he felt that his team let themselves down and they let him down, that they deserved the right to run through the tape for the fans, for the season, and at least give it a little better taste. You and I have been through this, winning game 82 after being eliminated, both teams being eliminated that were on the ice that night. That wouldn't have truly mattered. But I think he took it personally, and it showed, and it's okay. But when he said that his team didn't like to lose, or they well, how did he put it, Matty?
Losing doesn't
losing didn't
them
bother
the way it
them.
should, something like
they
that.
Didn't hate losing
didn't
enough.
hate to lose, right.
You and I have covered a lot of these guys. I think hockey players are one of probably the best athletes to interview.
No question.
I do. I think they're team-oriented. They're not me guys. They don't come off that way, and it's been ingrained in the sport forever. And unless you have Connor McDavid, it's tough to win with one guy. But I want to get your take on this part of the culture that he spoke of. You're in the locker room. You're on the plane. You fly with these guys. What's your sense of it?
They're pro athletes. Of course, they hate to lose, but some hate to lose more than others. That's the best way I can phrase it, right? There are some guys who maybe said, it's game 82. Come on, it doesn't matter. And I think not a blanket of the whole team, not even close. But I think Bones specifically was speaking to the guys to whom that didn't matter enough to them to give the full effort.
Was it a microcosm? Not 82, but what he saw over the last couple of weeks?
He kept telling them, it's going to get harder, guys. It's going to get harder. And he would tell us, I've told him, every game from here on out, it's going to get harder. Every team's going to play him harder. And that's exactly what happened. And how did his team respond? Some responded with a harder effort. Some had nothing else to give. And some, maybe for some unknown reason, didn't give it all, didn't finish the check, didn't win the puck battle, didn't, put their head down and charge into the net and try to make something happen. I don't know why. I can't explain it. I can tell you, I know there's one guy on that team who, bona fide, absolutely hates to lose, and that's Adam Fantilli. Adam Fantilli hates to lose. He came out of a Michigan program that won, went Frozen Four, didn't win it. He hates to lose. And in his first year here, he had to learn, oh, God, this is not Michigan. We don't just go in and roll over teams. And he hated it. It just ate at him. So I think you get more guys with that attitude in that room, and you're going to see a little bit more of what Bones thinks is missing, is that, God, I can't believe it. You could see it in his face. You could see it in his face after Game 82. You could see it in his face after Game 81.
Yeah.
We're out of it. I can't believe it.
For sure. He was obviously disappointed and emotional. I think maybe part of it, too, Mets, is sometimes as a coach, maybe you don't want to blow up that way when you're still in the midst of going through, right, the regular season and trying to run through the tape. And so it was a human moment. A lot of people are going to have those players all the time. You talk to these guys after games. Sometimes the emotion is so high right after the game that you get those moments. I didn't have an issue with it. Like, I really didn't. So hopefully now you just have to hope that the guys that'll be back, maybe some new faces will respond. And we've seen that from him already. He can galvanize a group and get them to play at a high level.
Yeah, I've had no issue with his any of them. And it's things that people have said, whispered maybe privately, amongst ourselves, the travel party. We've all said it. Yeah. Everybody's had that feeling of, man, 25 years of this, you got to be kidding me. Are we going through this again? What needs to change? How far up do you have to go? Where does it stop? Who's accountable? Who's going to be the person who makes that difference? We've all said it. He just said it out loud in a very emotional, passionate way. And I think because it came from him, like, well, yeah. I think people loved it. By and large, I think people loved it.
They did. There's no doubt. I mean, imagine the players privately probably were like, the old man is wrong. Like, probably Colonel Jessup, right? But I think they got it. I think they knew, because you want somebody that cares. You want somebody that cares as much as you do. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure he talked to them all individually, and they had it out. And I just feel like if it is the one thing you're talking about that is missing, then he's got a little bit of a nice guy syndrome on his team, or maybe just not edgy enough. And it's not about Game 82 specifically. It's about the character of what that means, the integrity. He attacked his own team's integrity that night. And whether he meant it 100%, I don't know. It was a lot of raw emotion. But do you believe that this team is good enough running it back? Because he kind of didn't, the way he sounded.
I think there are a couple of elements that are still needed, and you and I talked about it right before we came on. We need an a-hole on this team.
That's right.
That's what we need.
Yeah, you and I.
We need a guy that is going to go in.
Yeah.
We need I don't care who it is.
Just a guy that gets under another team's skin. It doesn't have to be necessarily an enforcer. He needs to be a gnat.
Right.
I want both.
And I thought Marchman was going to be that guy. Because Marchman's got that reputation around the league, is he'll take that extra shot. He went after Matthew Schaefer the first time they played the Islanders. We're like, he's going after the teenager. And I thought Connor Garland might have a little bit of that to him, because he's got that gritty, nasty, don't bother me right now. I got to go get ready for a hockey game kind of attitude around him when you see him. I thought that they might bring some of that, but the Jackets need a little bit more of that, in my opinion. A Brad Marchand, a Tom Wilson, a guy who off the ice is great, sure,
that's right,
no problem. Mm-hmm. But on the ice, he's going to lick your face.
Toe that line, like that offensive lineman that'll try to drive you into the dirt, throw you out of bounds with the block, like those type of players for sure. Like a Draymond Green, or just that edge, right? You need a little bit more of that.
Look out for him. What's he going to do next? They don't have a look out for him. What's he going to do next, guy?
They did find an answer somewhere pretty important. We'll talk about that next with Dave Metsel. Then I'll let you react to Zach on our program yesterday. Him reacting to Bones and what he said, and whether that's the change they need as far as who's going to lead them into battle. We'll do it next. Rothman and Ice in the Fan.
We used to have a billboard with our host's face on it, but only ugly people work here now.
You mama say you ugly. Hey!
The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Tired of snoring? Sleep Better Columbus can help with a custom mouthpiece that opens your airway and stops the snoring. No mask, no noise. Call 1-800-MORE-SLEEP or visit sleepbettercolumbus.com today. Stop snoring, sleep better, live better.
Working your way through that home projects list, that means more flushes, more showers, more fiddling with the thermostat. Trust the pros at the Waterworks with your plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling needs. Our certified pros can repair or replace your air conditioner or furnace. Clogs? Call the Waterworks. Drain issues? Call the Waterworks. Plumbing problems? Call the Waterworks. HVAC breakdowns? Call the Waterworks. The Waterworks, trusted and certified plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling experts.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Now is the time to call Comer & Cross and transform your garage with a gleaming new Comer & Cross garage floor. Maybe your garage floor has exposed concrete with stains and cracks or a bad epoxy or paint job. Well, a new Comer & Cross garage floor will transform your entire garage in just one day. Now, here's the great part of this whole story. If you call them right now, they're going to take 50% off installation. Yeah, that's right, 50% off installation from Comer & Cross when you call them today at 1-800-NEW-FLOOR. A Comer & Cross garage floor is the gold standard, guaranteed to never chip, crack, or show tire lift like epoxy or paint ever. Plus, they make it easy. They'll take your stuff out of the garage for you. They'll fix your cracks and pits perfectly like it's a new garage floor, and then they'll apply the proprietary finish that you pick. Yeah, I said it. They'll fix your cracks and pits. What's wrong with that? That's what you want. So call them today at 1-800-NEW-FLOOR to get 50% off installation. That's 1-800-NEW-FLOOR. Or go to comercross.com.
Last year, I had back pain radiating down my right leg. The pain was so bad I was willing to cut my leg off to stop the pain. I could barely walk and had to stoop over when I did just to take pressure off the spine. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. In my professional career, I've represented thousands of people who've had herniated discs and issues with their neck and back, but never fully appreciated what they were going through until it was my turn. It's like trying to describe colors to a blind person who's never had sight. All I can tell you is it hurt like hell, but worse. My daily walk was gone, and that bothered me a great deal. Then I thought of all of you and how much more devastating this type of injury could be for you. My life stopped. I now feel your pain. Just know at Morgan & Morgan, we got your back. I understand. Morgan means more.
Morgan & Morgan, Ohio office located at 600 Vine Street, Cincinnati. Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome.
Hey, it's T-Bone again. Sleep apnea doesn't have to rule your nights. Sleep Better Columbus has been treating snoring and sleep apnea for over 15 years with proven results and now has an office open in Marysville. Call 1-800-MORE-SLEEP or go to sleepbettercolumbus.com. Stop snoring, sleep better, live better.
Sometimes, tough times are a test, a chance to prove ourselves. Colleen O'Donnell proved her grit in Laredo, Texas, when she served as an immigration judge and faced the worst of the worst: human smugglers, gang members, dangerous people. Colleen ordered them to be deported, never granted asylum once, and enforced the law to the letter. Now, Ohio needs tough leadership on the bench, so Colleen O'Donnell's running for Ohio Supreme Court as a constitutional conservative with 10 years of prior judicial experience. Ohio Right to Life PAC endorses Colleen for her devotion to our conservative values. America's toughest immigration sheriff, Richard Jones, endorses Colleen O'Donnell for her dedication to public safety. And the Ohio leaders we trust support Colleen O'Donnell for her unwavering loyalty to the rule of law and the Ohio State Constitution. The grit to lead, the experience to succeed. Colleen O'Donnell for Ohio Supreme Court.
Paid for by O'Donnell for Ohio.
Tita Green with Skip Mosick.
Saturday, former Buckeye John Cook joins us from the Senior PGA Championship at the Concession Club, plus Dave Shedlowski of Golf Digest.
Tita Green with Skip Mosick, Saturday mornings at 9 on The Fan. Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Chances of showers and thunderstorms this afternoon, otherwise mostly cloudy, breezy and warm with highs in the upper 70s to low 80s. For tonight, partly cloudy overnight with lows in the 50s, and then for Friday, another mostly sunny day with highs in the low 80s. For The Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with the 10 Weather Impact Forecast.
We've been your Jackets flagship station since day one. All the goals, all the action, all the memories. Your home for the Columbus Blue Jackets, The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Finding the sweet spot between the over and the under. You're listening to Rothman and Ice.
All right, in studio with our guy Dave Metsel, CBJ ringside reporter. He has been around, covered this team in one way, shape, or form since their inception. In fact, he and I, Maddie, were lucky enough to fly on a private jet. Was that Max jet?
That's such a great story.
Was it?
Yeah.
All right, so we go. Was it Rickenbacker or no?
No.
Where did we fly
right
out
of Don Scott.
Oh, Don. Yes,
it was for the
Don Knotts Airfield.
Yeah, that's right. NHL Draft Lottery.
Yes.
For some reason, we had to be there.
So, Maddie, this wasn't the draft. This was to watch the ping pong.
It's the lottery. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was in Teterboro, New Jersey.
Yeah.
and at a hotel. And so we landed and we went to the hotel. But before that, so he was representing 4 and I was representing 6 and Jeff Hogan was representing 10.
Sure.
And we were lucky. We were like 3 of the only guys that really, so we show up to this. We're the first time I've ever been on a private jet. And we get there and we get on the plane and I think I'm last on and Metz is sitting in the back or somewhere. And I'm sitting in the middle in the back and I'm about ready to leave and I'm looking around like there's no seatbelt. There's no seatbelt on the plane. And I'm thinking they overbooked it. Like, I got to get off. Like, there's no seatbelt. And somebody said, don't worry about it. And I'm like, well, that's not very comfortable. I guess if something happens, we're all going down together.
Sure.
But I thought, what if we just lose altitude or whatever, pressure? And I dribbled my dome off the top of this. I wound up flying with you guys.
Yeah.
But it felt kind of weird. But it was good.
Do you remember coming back? Do you remember why we were delayed coming back?
No.
Because Kofi Annan's plane was parked next to ours.
Really?
We had to wait for Kofi Annan. I believe was the Secretary General of the UN at the time. We had to wait for his plane to leave.
Yeah. So
that's flying. That's flying private money.
And we covered ping pong balls.
Yeah.
Now the big one was in Calgary at the draft.
Oh man,
that was fun.
Yeah.
Because I went out to the Olympic Village and went up to the ski. That was cool.
That's cool. Yeah.
To be there. Yeah. Where Calgary was the home of the Olympics in '88, and it was Eddie the Eagle, and it was all that. To go out to Calgary was fun. You were there, right?
Well, yeah, we did. My photographer and I, Salt Brown and I, were told, okay, you're flying to Calgary, and after that, you are absolutely off the clock. Do not incur any overtime. Okay, no problem. So we went golfing. We went over towards Banff and played in Canmore and played at a place called Stewart Creek, which went straight up the Canadian Rockies. Beautiful. And we played because it was June.
It was. We were there in the summer.
Right? It was June, and it stayed light until like 10 o'clock.
Oh, wow.
So we're playing golf, and we get done playing golf, and the guy's paging us. He goes, where have you guys been? We've been looking for you. Doug McClain was going to give you an exclusive inside look at the draft room and all that. I'm like, sorry, you told us to be off the clock.
Yeah. Some of us had to do some hits for the news, Matty. These guys got to play golf.
I did not. I was playing golf. It was fantastic.
All right, so Zach comes on Hockey and Hounds yesterday, and certainly he's coming out of the exit interviews. Things are raw. He's met the media. He's met with Bones. Does he also meet with Don on the exit interview, or is it just Bones?
I think it's both of them.
It is both.
Yeah.
All right, so here's a little snippet of that, and then we can react to some of the roster and possible turnover that could be coming. When he said losing doesn't bother them, how did you take that? Was that real, or was that just emotion from him?
I don't know. I feel like I don't want to speak on his behalf. I know as players, how we feel about it is different than what he said. I made a comment today that we need to learn to win, and I feel like we haven't been there. We haven't been in that position enough, and I feel like it's not the hatred of losing. Like, I feel like we all feel that. It's just understanding situations and circumstances and the time of the year. And it's hard. I'm at a loss for words for it, to be honest, because I know how I feel about it. I know how most guys in that room feel about it. We definitely hate to lose. I don't think that's right, but I also do think it's just Bones in the moment being emotional. So it's a tough one for sure.
You know what sucks, Mets? They couldn't afford to go through something like that with Bones, or they wouldn't even have been in this thing. They never had to go through adversity with Bones. He comes in, they start winning, everything's good, everything's happy. And when they went through the rough patch, it was at that key point, and they didn't have anything to really rely upon. They had nothing to reach back to. He could coach them harder, but they had never been through him coaching them harder.
Yeah.
So it was there was a lot of newness at the end, and that kind of reared its ugly head. But Zach is certainly one of the leaders, and I think he took it the right way.
I think he took it the right way, 100%. I did hear him say most of the guys in the room, not all of the guys in the room. He said most of the guys in the room. It needs to be all of the guys in the room who have that shared feeling that just, we got to figure it out, number one. Got to hate to lose, number two, or maybe flip those around. But, Bones pulled aside Kirill Marchenko, Adam Fantilli, and Kent Johnson very early in his tenure. And it was at a practice, and he pulled him aside, and you could tell he was having a pretty intense conversation with him. And I asked him about it afterwards. I'm like, what was that about? He goes, those guys have never been in the playoffs. They have no idea what it's like to get to the playoffs and then what style of hockey you have to play when you're there. And I wanted to tell him what to expect. And after that, I noticed he would go practices, morning skates, whatever the case may be, and he'd have these little conversations with individuals along the way. And I think that was part of his messaging was, guys, you've never been there. Zach has been there. Boone's been there. Charlie Coyle's been there. Most of the guys have not been there, not experienced it. And he needed to teach them what to expect and how to possibly elevate their game so they could get there and maybe make a run.
Mets, you mentioned KJ, and this was a pretty rough year for him, right? And a guy that they expect to be, a key piece for them moving forward. Just being around him this year, just talk about the vibe and maybe why you think he didn't have the season he probably wanted.
Dean Evison wanted him to go in and be physical, wanted him to go in the corners, win puck battles, be physical. He's not that kind of player. Bowness identified that as soon as he got here. He said, look, he's not that kind of player. He's not the kind of guy who's going to go in and put his hard hat on and be the blue-collar guy, be Boone Jenner. He's not going to be Boone Jenner. He doesn't have that kind of body. He doesn't have that kind of playing style. So Bowness said, I want you to go to the open ice. Go to the open ice and do what you do. So he had to transform himself, and at first it worked out really well. Really, really well. Remember? Like he was playing with Monahan and Garland for a while. That line was like, whoa, look at this. Look what we found. And then maybe it got too rich there because then people started to body him. People started to body Marchenko. People started to body Zach Werenski in a way that those guys weren't used to being bodied, being hit. It was a physical game for them. And things got a little bit different. So, yes, he still has, I think, tremendous offensive skills. I think he needs to add, 12, 15 pounds so he can be a little bit more of a physical player. But I think right now it's about a reset for KJ. It's just reset. Let me find my skills. Let me find a coach who understands where I work best and go from there.
Now that Bones is going to be back, Mets, I don't know if Boone will be. However, I think we know what Boone is now. He's a fourth-line guy.
Yeah.
Now, when you need him, he can play up. He has.
And he can play the wing or center.
That's right. So when he's needed, he can move. And at the right price, I think you and I would want him on our team all day long.
Right.
But this team has grown a little bit. And I'm wondering if they've grown past him. And what I mean by that is, in hockey, there's kind of a phrase that gets thrown along, can you lead from the back? And I don't mean defensively. I mean, if you're not one of the upper line guys or a top pair defenseman, can you captain a team?
Foligno. That's who you're talking about.
Yeah. So would they consider something at the right price with him, leaving him as captain, or moving the C on this team?
I wouldn't be surprised by any. I think he's got to get a hometown discount. You got to get a hometown discount from Boone, and I think Boone wants to stay here. Now he's a dad. He's established himself here. He's never played anywhere else, and he's such a fan favorite, right? And he can do all of those things. He's the kind of guy that if you let him go, you're going to be like, whoa, wait a minute. Yeah. Why'd you let James Van Riemsdyk go? Because we could really use this guy right now. Why'd you make that move? It's that kind of move, right?
It's a Cam thing.
Yeah,
it's that kind of.
Yeah, although even Cam, as much as I love him, I hope he's not listening, he's one guy. He's a scorer, right? He's a scorer. He's not a guy who you can move up and down on the line. Cam Atkinson on the fourth line makes no sense. But Boone does, and Boone... Yeah, we need a top-line wing tonight. Okay, Boone's your guy.
That's right.
We need a 2C. Okay, Boone's our guy. So, yeah, I think you try to do what you can to get him at the right price. Taking that C off him, boy, that's tough.
I know.
That's tough. Where does it go? Where does it land?
I think you
on
only.
Zach?
I think or Charlie if he stays.
Yeah.
Because Coyle's again. He's a third-line guy. He's a beast.
Right.
He's a third-line guy, and I don't think he's getting any quicker or faster.
And younger, do you want to put a C on a guy who could be gone in a year or two? Or do you just say, okay, Adam Fantilli?
Unless he's going to be here 3 years.
Time. Yeah.
That's right. And I think these are, by the way, these are all the talk and the moves that Bones alluded to. Like, in a way, now let's see if they really happen.
Right.
Because I think Don's got to look at Bones and say, I'm not signing this guy to 6 years. I'm not signing Marchment to a 6x5.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not doing that. Or I'm not signing Coyle, certainly, for 6 years and $7 million. I don't think he would do that to his team.
I talked to the Washington broadcasters the other day. They said, man, we'd love to have a guy like Marchment. Marchment's going to draw some attention because of the way he plays. Yeah. Big guy who can be a bit of an irritant, who can score some goals for you.
Yeah.
So we'll see. It's going to be a really interesting offseason, as it always seems to be with our beloved Columbus Blue Jackets.
Just tighten up, man. Tighten up. We got to get you to a press conference in a half an hour. So we appreciate you stopping by, doing a little drive-by.
Yeah, I can do it at any time.
Doors open, man.
Oh, don't say that. You give me a key card. I'll be here every day.
You and I could get scary in front of a couple of mics telling stories.
Oh, my.
Muirfield, all of it. Could all come out one day.
I'm sensing a podcast. What do you guys think?
there it is.
There it is.
Yeah, I'm sensing it. Yeah, that's right. Good to see you, my man.
Let's start with some Jack stories.
That's right. Can I tell the best one?
Which one? There's
right.
so many.
I don't think I can tell this one yet. I don't want to do that to the listener, but so Mets and I are in the Jack Nicklaus Museum.
Museum story.
It was
my
one
God.
night, and we're all in the bathroom together.
You're going to tell this?
I better not.
Oh,
man,
now.
Come on,
Well, you
man.
just, why did you say that then? I was ready to go.
It's so good. Well,
let me just say that there was a human moment. I think that's the best way to say it. In the bathroom, 3 of us lined up at the urinal together, Mets, Jack, and myself, and a human moment happened, and Mets goes...
And it wasn't either one of us.
It wasn't either one of us, and Mets goes, well, Jack, that puts it all in perspective, and it's one of the greatest moments in the history of our friendship. All right, good to see you, man.
Well, you got to finish.
Well, you finish it then.
Sometimes got to come out both ways.
There you go.
There it is. There it is. I'll never work again. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Good night, everybody. All right, have fun at the presser.
Tom Sprouse just crossed my name off the list.
No, you're a lifer. You've been grandfathered in. Reporter emeritus. Dave Metzel. You can sit on a bumper out there. You're good to go.
Yeah, I can do it.
All right.
Oh, my.
We'll talk.
Oh, my.
We'll talk soon.
Yeah.
Good to see you.
Thanks, Mets.
Speaking of coaches who care for 1,000, Todd Monken has his narrative ready to go. That's in 2 minutes. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
I love Right Pack Credit Union because they're solution driven.
I feel valued as a member. They're focused on the latest technology and the personal connections.
Experience benefits that go beyond banking with Right Pack Credit Union. Just ask our actual members.
I definitely recommend Right Pack to all my family and friends as a credit union of choice.
Visit one of our Columbus area Right Pack Credit Union member centers near you. Based on individual members' experiences, results may vary.
For more than 25 years, Brothers Roofing and Construction has been serving Central Ohio with dependable roofing, siding, and exterior repairs. We do the job right the first time. So if quality matters to you, visit brothersroofingconstruction.com.
Listen to Financially Fit Radio with Corey Sickles this Saturday morning at 9 on 1460 AM, covering topics like what you need to know about annuities and how to stay healthy and enjoy retirement. Financially Fit Radio this Saturday morning at 9 on 1460 AM.
Indeed presents hires you can't afford to get wrong, like a staff accountant at the height of tax season.
Congrats. Looks like the company owes, $50 in taxes. How about that?
That seems low. Why only 50?
Why do you care so much? It's not your money.
This is the time for sponsored jobs. This is what happens when you don't sponsor your job on Indeed. Next time, get matched with quality candidates with Indeed sponsored jobs. Visit Indeed.com/hire now and sponsor your job today.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Annie's first oil change wasn't as hard as she thought because she went to AutoZone, where a friendly AutoZoner helped her find the right oil and save on an oil filter. He explained the job and showed her free how-tos on AutoZone.com. When she was done, AutoZone recycled her old oil for free. No hassles, just help. Everything you need, nothing you don't.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Fascinating, informative, covered in dog slobber. You're listening to Rothman and Ice.
Oh, we thank Dave Metzel for rolling through. What a pro. What a pro's pro. Metz is.
Yeah, he's the man.
There's a different energy when Metz is in the room. So good to have him.
Absolutely.
We'll dispatch him over to the presser, and then we'll dip into that at 2 o'clock.
TLC, we good to go on that, big dog?
You string the cans together?
He's so locked in on his Pirates right now. He's not even focusing on what we're doing.
You guys didn't even give me the nerf he paid.
It did.
Oh, yeah, it did.
Still 0-0.
Yeah, top 5 going in the 5th inning. Cashed in.
The cans are stringed together.
All right.
Strung.
More cans.
Sorry.
More cans.
Need more cowbell.
All right. So, like I said, let's go from Bowness to Monken. Coaches who care for 1,000, Alex. Munkin's talking the same way. I think there's an old school. I think there's a grizzled veteran feel to this, even though he hasn't been a head coach. I honestly thought when Bones did what he did, it was genuine, but it was very Herb Brooks-esque. It was like, they're lucky there isn't a practice tomorrow. Again. Send them. Again. Like, I think it had part of that. It almost reeked of, you got to play for the logo on the front, not the name on the back, and all that stuff. And I think there is part of the jackets that can relate to the Browns and vice versa. Like, I feel like there's a diehardness to their fan bases, but they all have one thing in common, that the great moments are few and far between.
Yeah, it's very similar, right? Where you had the Browns, the playoff win against Pittsburgh, and obviously the amazing series for the Jackets a few years ago when they did what they did that shocked the world. And yeah, the fan bases they're loyal to the soil, like they really are, and they're all just holding on to that hope of finally getting over the hump. And you're right about kind of two grizzled vets now running the show for both parties down here in Columbus and up there in Cleveland. And Todd Monken obviously knows he's got a ton of work to do to get this thing in order and get the Browns into relevancy, which they haven't been consistently in a long, long time. But Kevin Clark from ESPN had him on his podcast, and Kevin asked him just kind of about the identity and the tone that he wants to set and what he wants this product to look like in time. And here's what Todd had to say.
What are the 2026 Browns going to look like? I know that's a hard question to answer.
Well, it's like I said, obviously your physicality, your effort, and your execution pop off the tape, because that has nothing to do with what scheme you run. The way I like to say it is, as much as I love winning and I hate losing, I despise football. Like, absolutely despise that it doesn't look like you want it to look like. Like, where it's just like you got 10 on the field, you got 12, you're up against the clock, you don't have effort that you look for. It doesn't even look like you've practiced. There's nothing worse than that, because it's a reflection of you. That is you out there. When Jimmy and Dee sign my check with my name on it, sign a check with my name on it, they expect a kick-ass football team. And my job's to prove them right every day. When I got paid at the last place I was at, and they expected a kick-ass offense. And that was my job, to try and prove that every day. That's what a player's job is. When they sign a check with their name on it, it's their job to prove it every day, just like all of us. That's our job.
I love listening to
how
him
can
talk.
you not?
I love listening to this dude talk.
It's not how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit.
Absolutely.
And keep moving forward.
I'll tell you this.
That's how winning's done.
AR, for me, honestly, as a Ravens fan, I looked forward to hearing from him more than I did Harbaugh last year. I just love hearing him. It's the passion.
Passion,
I don't care.
glory.
All of that, right? Like, the dude's got the gift of gab. He's going to win you over with his words. But that's not what's going to matter at the end of the day if you're a Browns fan. But hearing what he's going to demand is similar to what we've been talking about with Rick Bowness. He locked in on that word effort a couple times in that clip. Like, that's what he's going to demand from these guys. And not that, I don't know, because Kevin Stefanski, he seemed more of a soft-spoken-ish type of head coach. And that's not to say that's the wrong way of doing it. But Todd Monken kind of fits the identity, I think, of the Browns fan base and what they want from their head coach and their leaders. And so I think he laid out a lot of things. They got to clean up a ton. Like last year, they did not play good football as far as being a clean operation on either side of the ball. I mean, they're 17th in the league in penalties. You look at the teams that had a whole bunch of success, whether that be in the Rams, whether that be in New England, or whether that's Seattle, those teams were top 7 in the league in fewest penalties. So they're a team right now in the Browns that can't afford to play sloppy football because of where the roster is. And so I think that's great to hear, is that that's something that he's going to be focusing on, is making sure just our operation down in, down out, drive in, drive out is as clean as it can possibly be. Because right now they're behind the 8 ball when it comes to the talent that they have, just on completely top to bottom as a roster.
I'm so glad you said that part, because, and I'm sure there are coaches that care more than others. I'm sure there are. But when he said it, I was like, what coach does like sloppy football or doesn't mind? Like, what coach in the NFL really tolerates that?
Yeah.
And then you start thinking about it and like, well, there have to be levels. There have to be levels of it, right? Like, we talked early on about the whole hate losing more than you like winning. And that goes to what? Competitiveness. Like, how competitive are you? Like, some of the great athletes in the world, like, this guy would hate to lose to you in a game of jacks or whatever. Like, you know, and there are some people like that. And maybe those are the people that go far. I don't know. Because we always attach it to, like, the greatest. Yeah. Like, and I don't know if it's completely accurate. And then I told you guys about, you know, it'd be like if our boss said, you guys got to hate bad ratings more than you like good ones. And, you know, there's certainly, but see, we have to look at it differently because everything we do is subjective.
Yes.
What everything they do is on a scoreboard. I'm not saying because you and I could work our butts off. We could just work to the end of time and may not get great ratings.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what else we could do? We could mail it in and get good ratings. Yeah. There is no science. It's personality, it's opinion, it's entertainment, whatever you want it to be, and that's what it is. And then we have to live with that. We have to live with knowing that we did the best job we could that day, and then we let the chips fall where they may. I think I kind of heard that in him. That because when he dropped the I hate losing, but what I hate more is blanking this kind of football.
Crappy football.
And so what he was trying to tell you is that he can accept where they are.
Yeah.
But he can accept if there are things that they're not doing to get better. But I'm glad to hear you say that it can't be a reboot of what they are. It has to be different. And in the NFL level, he can't win with just go get him, guys. He can't win with guys that actually try. He has to win a different way now.
And you can help yourself when you don't have, you know, a Joe Burrow, a Stafford, a Josh Allen, and close the gap on teams in games by not giving teams extra at-bats, right? Like when you're the Browns and you're facing Josh Allen, you can't afford as a defense to hit him late and give him 10 to 15 extra yards. Like those are the things that the Browns are really going to have to focus on this season, and the coaching staff, I'm sure, is going to do that, and Todd Monken is going to absolutely make that happen. And so just hopefully there's buy-in from the leaders. That's what you're going to want and need as well, because he can say it all he wants, but it's got to come from Miles. It's got to come from Denzel. It's got to come from Fannin, and all those guys are going to be critical pieces to hopefully a successful season for them.
Yeah, they're still the Browns, and they still have to fight that. And I think he's fighting against that. And I think what we've learned with the Jackets this week is there are a lot of people that believe that they're the same old Jackets because they missed the playoffs. And it wasn't that necessarily. It was that they failed at the finish line. And it made people feel like that they were a little bit of a ruse. They were a little bit of a smoke and mirrors. I didn't feel that way. But I understand that if you take a minute clip out of a 12-minute conversation of me praising their comeback, it's going to sound like that I'm absolving them of something, which I'm not. But I think you have to step back and take a look at who they are, that maybe they weren't quite good enough in the right places to take it over the tape, that they were good enough when they were riding the wave. But when they got dumped off the board, they couldn't find their way. And that's kind of what happened. But I also feel like to call a team not caring about losing, then guess what? They don't win that game at Detroit. They don't. And guess where else they don't win? They probably don't win in Montreal. And they lost to Buffalo, who's a very good team. The hurtful one is if Boston's resting guys and you can't beat them at home, and then you have to add insult to injury when former Jackets like Sean Corrali and Corpusalo come back to get you and play and keep you down. It added a whole nother layer to it. Buckeye Bulletin up next. Rothman Ice and the Fan.
Unlike your deadbeat uncle, we'll never leave you stranded in a ditch when you were 6. This promo may have been a touch too specific. The Fan.
Spring is here, and there's no better place to make memories than the Columbus Zoo. See tigers up close, watch playful otters, and see the baby elephants in action. For a limited time, take advantage of our Zoo After 2 p.m. deal. Plan your adventure at columbuszoo.org.
Listen up, Columbus. Before you buy or lease a new Honda, see Lindsay Honda first. For a limited time, every new Honda includes a complimentary gift. Choose a KitchenAid stand mixer, a 75-inch high high-def TV, or a zero-gravity massage chair when you buy any new Honda. Plus, drive a new 2026 Civic Sport, just $199 a month, or a 2026 CR-V LX, just $279 a month.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference.
During the Honda Spring Event. See lindsayhonda.com for details.
Welcome to Tire Discounters. Oh, hiya, Phantom.
Mike, I think I saw a fox on my way in.
Oh, that was the Carfax Carfox. He was congratulating us on our Carfax Top-Rated Service Center Award.
I have always rated Tire Discounters at the very top.
Oh, thanks. So does Carfax. And not just for tires, but for all our services, too.
Alignment, brakes, shocks, and struts, and more.
Yes, sir.
But, Mike, do you think people believe Carfax over me?
Well, you are the Phantom tire buyer.
Exactly.
This spring, celebrate the sparkle that she brings to your life with something that sparkles right back. Whether it's for Mother's Day, an anniversary, or just because, Diamond Cellar has the perfect gift for the women who mean the world to you. Visit Diamond Cellar today on Selma Road and at Easton Town Center.
As the seasons change, it's time to prep your HVAC system with a $49 seasonal tune-up from Columbus Worthington Air. A seasonal tune-up can help save money on your energy bill and help prevent expensive breakdowns. As your local home service experts, everything we do is backed by our exceptional service guarantee. It all adds up to dependable service from neighbors you trust. Columbus Worthington Air and Bryant Heating and Cooling. Whatever it takes. Visit cwaohio.com/radio for details, terms, and conditions. License number 47543.
Enjoy more ways to save at Kroger, like low prices in every aisle. And you can clip and save more with digital coupons in the Kroger app. Plus, you can earn fuel points to save up to $1 per gallon at the pump. So it's always easy to save big. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Savings may vary by state. Fuel restrictions apply. See site for details.
Kroger makes it easy to save on fuel. Just redeem the points you've earned to save up to $1 a gallon at the pump. See store for details. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
I'm Ultima Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Every time one of my children started driving, it was terrifying. I am quite aware of the dangers being on the road. Thousands of accidents happen across the country. We see it every day. These families' lives will be changed in an instant. We fight for these families as if they were our own. We've become America's largest injury law firm by winning cases just like these. If you've been injured in a car accident, call us.
Injured? Dial Pound Law.
Morgan & Morgan, Ohio office located at 600 Vine Street, Cincinnati. Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome.
Your reputation matters. That's why so many landscape professionals choose Gravely. You can save up to 20% on Gravely commercial mowers during the Gravely Mow the Distance sales event going on now through the 19th. Visit your local Gravely dealer today.
Newman Roofing, as part of their 2026 Commitment to Community initiative, is proud to partner with 10TV and The Fan to relaunch Raise the Roof, honoring local heroes going above and beyond. We are calling on you to help us recognize the volunteers, educators, first responders, and everyday difference makers who are making a meaningful impact in your community to be recognized on 10TV and The Fan. Send in your nominations and stories to 10tv.com/raisetheroof. 10tv.com/raisetheroof. Nominate a local hero today and help us raise the roof for those who make a difference.
Austin Ward here, fired up for warm weather, golf season, longer days, more time outside. Ride the momentum and finally drop the weight you keep saying you will. With Awaken 180, it's fast, easy, and we're all proof that it works. Online at awaken180weightloss.com.
Bishop and Friends.
The best I can tell, an Albert Einstein finger in a light socket into my face as much as I can.
Bishop and Friends, sponsored by Diamond Cellar.
Weekdays from 9 to noon on The Fan.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Ohio Heating and Bryant. Doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
Like Yoda, Rothman will limp onto the golf course, talk about how stiff his back is, wonder how he can even make it through a hole, and then proceed to kick your ass. You're listening to Rothman and Ice.
All right, time for the Buckeye Bulletin.
Rothman and Ice present Buckeye Bulletin.
Sponsored by Window Nation. Save up to 50% on new windows from windownation.com.
Well, Maddie, which phase of the spring game will you have your focus on? Will that be offense, the defense, special teams? Will you be looking at all of it? Will you be DVRing it and going to have lunch and playing it back later? Will you be doing some errands, shopping for some new J's or something, and then maybe check it out later?
So here's what's honestly going to happen. I will be DVRing it because I got to bounce around a little bit on Saturday.
All right.
And then I will circle back and do a little run through. Coach Ice film breakdown. That's what's going to happen probably Sunday morning. Yeah, that's probably
okay.
You're going to be out there.
So when you wake up Sunday morning, what will your spring headline read?
Oh, okay. Shout out to Tim Bay.
The offense is bringing back 8 starters from last year. Ryan Day certainly knows what he has at quarterback and receiver, but let's hear what he wants to see in the spring game.
No, just another point of evaluation on all the guys is really what it would be. Listen, the running backs, probably won't have 3 of those guys out there. Maybe probably not 4 of them. Turbo is probably not going to make it. Legend's probably not going to make it. So we're down running backs. So we'll have to throw the ball some, which is good for the quarterbacks to get the ball out of their hand and see how they handle the environment. And then get a chance to see the ball with the wide receivers and see what those guys do, and then pass rush and pass protection. And so it'll probably be some of that. Not that we won't run the ball, but with those guys down, you probably won't get as much of that. So, but just to see how guys respond in that environment will be the biggest thing.
I'm here for it. I mean, it's tough right now, especially right when you're trying to build that chemistry up front with the offensive line, the running back room, and everybody getting on the same page with the timing and the blocking schemes and yada, 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 all that stuff that goes into it. But, yeah, it's always exciting, right, at least for me in these type of settings, to see the football around in the air and just seeing maybe some of these new DBs that have come in and how sticky their coverage can be and how, good their ball skills are and all that, right? And so, yeah, that's always fun. It's nothing that I think any of us have to take too seriously because we kind of know what it is. But at the end of the day, I think the majority of us will take football whichever way we can get it. And seeing some of the new guys out there popping off is always an enjoyable situation.
Yeah, it's almost like you lean into the positive.
Yeah.
Because if there's anything that happened that's not great, we won't focus that much on it because, it's a spring game.
What if the kickers don't have a good day?
But if somebody pops off, then it's like...
happens? What if we get shanked field goals?
Shankapotibus?
What if that happens? I think that's not going to...
Here's what I would do.
Yeah.
I would not let them kick anything under 35 yards.
Under or over?
Under.
Oh, protect them a little bit. Give them an out. I see what you're saying.
That way, if somebody misses a 48-yarder,
like,
no one's going to be like, okay. Or, hey, Connor, you kicked how many field goals over 50 at Baylor? Like, yeah, we'd like to see one go through. Yeah. And no one's trying to really... I don't know. I feel like we'll lean into the positive. There will be a spring game wonder of some kind. Mm-hmm. Now, we don't know who's going to play and how much they're going to play. That's part of it, trying to predict things. Here is Ryan Day also on Jeremiah Smith finding his voice.
Well, Jeremiah, as you guys know, is sort of a man of few words, but he's found his voice more and more. And I've noticed the last few practices, even when the 2s and the 3s are in there, he's near the huddle. He's listening to the call. He's encouraging them. He's coaching them. He's there. And, leaders have to be felt. Leaders have to be heard. And that's just how it goes. And he's making a conscious effort to do that. And I think the guys see that. What he's always done since he stepped in this building is he's practiced really hard and set an example of discipline and how you practice. And when your best players are your hardest workers, it gives you a chance to build a culture. He's done that for sure, with a giant check mark from the day he walked in until just his practice today. I think where he's really working on is, being felt and heard in terms of, encouraging guys, pushing guys, being that leader, and having an impact and having a connection with the guys. And he's definitely made an effort. You can see it. And so we're going to need that.
I love when he says when your best players are your hardest workers, you got a chance. That goes to culture. Mm-hmm. It does. The last thing a team wants, even a team of talented dudes, is that there's some guys that get a pass because they're the most talented or they're not held accountable. Like that, honestly, that's the one thing that I think a coach, if he gets to put that out of his mind, which it sounds like he does with Jeremiah Smith.
Yeah.
And you and I both know, and everybody listening knows, that he could probably show up on Saturdays and be just as good. But it doesn't affect the culture then. And so if he's the hardest worker, or one of them, then that's where you're really affecting culture.
No doubt they are. And, other guys they better fall in line. Like, how could you not fall in line when you go in there all the time and when practice is over, number 4 is still there, or it's 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, whatever it is, and Jeremiah's in there grinding. Like, I think that's absolutely the dream for a coach, is to have a player as good as Jeremiah and other guys as well that are on that level or just on a similar level, put in all the work that they do. And it's also great, too, for the Legend Bays and the Chris Henrys and guys that are going to be around for the next couple of years when Jeremiah goes to the NFL to know and get a little bit of the blueprint of, oh, that's kind of the secret sauce and how he really goes about his business. So, yeah, he's blessed with the hand of God, with the physical skills and all that. But there's something to being able to get in there all the time and get in the lab and sharpen your tools that other guys can learn from. And it's no doubt a very good tone setter.
All right, that's today's Buckeye Bulletin. We will come back top of the hour after a sports update and take you to Nationwide Arena, where a CBJ presser is going to happen with Don Waddell announcing that Rick Bowness is staying on. For how long? That's what we need to know. And I'm sure some other good stuff will come out of that. That's next. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
Question from a listener: do you dopes ever get tired of talking about Ohio State? No. The Buckeye Show.
Weeknights at 6.
The Fan.
Hey, it's Bo Bishop here. You've heard me talk about High Bank Spirits, but the food is just as good. Brunch worth planning your weekend around. Seasonal dinners perfect for date night or game night. Plus, kids eat half off every Monday. Find menus and locations at highbankco.com. Dine, drink, distill at High Bank.
Common Man here for Universal Windows Direct. April's the perfect time to reset your home for the long run, and Universal Windows Direct makes that decision easy. Right now, when you buy 2 windows, you get 2 free, and there's no limit. The more you upgrade, the more you save. Plus 24 months with no payments and no interest. And if you need some more, how about a $500 bonus off your home improvement project? Schedule your free estimate today. Call 614-502-5220, universalwindowsdirect.com. Like me, you'll be saying, I love my windows.
Hey, it's AR here for Germain Honda of Dublin. If you've been thinking about upgrading your ride, now's the time. It's the Honda Spring Event at Germain Honda of Dublin, and they've got seriously low lease rates on the Honda HR-V and Civic for well-qualified buyers. I'm talking reliable, fuel-efficient, and fun to drive without stretching your budget. Stop by Germain Honda of Dublin on Sawmill Road, just south of 270. Check them out online at germainhondaofdublin.com. The Honda Spring Event won't last forever.
With Bet365 early payout, you win even if they lose. Get paid out instantly when your team goes up big, even if they blow the lead later. Bet365. Winning is everything. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-MY-RESET. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio.
Welcome back to the KeyBank Financial Playbook with Jeremiah Smith.
This play is called the rainy day out because everyone needs an emergency fund for a rainy day.
Jeremiah fakes left, past impulse buys and subscriptions, then gains 3 to 6 months' expenses right into the rainy day fund. What a gain!
That's money in the bank.
Poetry in motion, JJ. Until next time, KeyBank opens doors. KeyBank, member FDIC.
Hop into savings this spring with Ohio Mulch. Right now, save $100 on home delivery orders, but only for a limited time at OhioMulch.com. What sets Ohio Mulch apart? Our premium pine bark mulch made from high-quality southern pine from South Georgia. It lasts longer and creates the perfect pH for acidic-loving plants like hydrangeas and azaleas. Better mulch, better results. Shop now at OhioMulch.com.
Ohio Mulch, landscape supply, cleaner, greener, better. When it comes to garage doors, no one knows more.
I started my first business at 12 years old, mowing lawns for about $5 a yard. I thought I was crushing it until my buddy down the street undercut me by $2. But he didn't just cut the price, he cut corners too. That's when I learned if you do the job right, people trust you, and integrity beats profit. People care more about how you show up and whether you do what you say you're going to do. Hi, I'm Tommy Mello, owner of Don's Garage Doors. From garage door repairs to upgrades, we show up, we crush it, and we stand behind every job. We only use the best parts, and the spring's guaranteed to last a lifetime. Because when you care about the people you serve, you work harder, and it shows. From repairs to upgrades, call Don's Garage Doors today or schedule online at donsgaragedoors.com. And yeah, we still beat the other guy.
Don's Garage Doors, Don's Garage Doors. When it comes to garage doors, no one knows more.
Veterans and active duty service members, when your call to service ends, your mission doesn't have to. Go from GI to IT in just a few months at My Computer Career. Prepare for a high-demand career in cybersecurity, protecting people, systems, and institutions from real cyber threats. Cyber warriors are needed now. Will you answer the call? Go to mycomputercareer.edu/CWP to learn more. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP, an elite CompTIA certification partner. VA education benefits are available to those who qualify.
It always seems to happen at the worst time. You're finally in bed after a long, hard day, and then you hear it. You sit up, heart sinking. Is that coming from the ceiling? All of a sudden, it's a middle of the night flashlight hunt to find the leak. But don't worry, Newman Roofing has you covered, literally. With more than 3 decades in the business, we've seen just about everything a storm can throw at a roof. Our teams know how to spot the problem, explain your options, and fix it right the first time, with craftsmanship and care you can feel good about. We're not just here for a quick patch job, and we never will be. We're here to make sure your home stays protected season after season. So when it comes to your roofing, siding, or gutter needs, choose the company you can trust, Newman Roofing. Call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF. That's 614-NEW-ROOF, or visit online at newmanroofing.com. Don't just get a new roof, get a Newman roof.
Broadcasting live from the McDaniel GM Superstore Studios, driving excellence since 1916. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. WBNS HD1 Columbus.
Good afternoon, I'm Jacob Reimer. It's been reported that the Columbus Blue Jackets and Rick Bowness have reached an agreement on a contract extension for Bowness to remain the head coach. The Blue Jackets went 21-11-5 when Bowness stepped in as head coach in January. The terms of the contract are expected to be announced here in a few minutes here on The Fan at a press conference to officially announce the deal. In baseball, the Cincinnati Reds are going for a series sweep of the San Francisco Giants. They're currently underway at Great American Ballpark. It's still scoreless in the bottom of the 6th inning. You can catch the action over on The Fan 2 right now. And later tonight, the Cleveland Guardians return home to open a 4-game series with the Baltimore Orioles. Parker Messick gets the ball for the Guardians against Shane Baz for the Orioles. First pitch is at 6:10. This update sponsored by The Waterworks and Header Plumbing, Drain, Heating, and Cooling. Together to serve you better. Schedule today at thewaterworks.com. Breaking sports news when it happens on The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Perfect afternoon parlay. This is Rothman and Ice.
All right, welcome back, final hour. All right, so remember when Bowness was hired, it was at a very critical point of the season. And say what you want, they didn't make the playoffs, but for Don Waddell to pull the trigger on Dean Evison, the guy he hired, and get a 70-year-old coach off his boat to come rescue the season, that wasn't a guarantee. Like, that wasn't an absolute no-brainer. Now, Bones has been around forever. He's a smart guy, been in great organizations. And you felt good about going to a veteran coach who could hop on a moving train and see if you could get a bump there, and they did. But that's why they felt they did what they did. And the fact that he was with Winnipeg and Dallas and took the Stars to the Cup final, and that was in a 6-gamer against Tampa. This is a guy who's been to the end of the road in the NHL. He knows a lot. And to get him, now, I think it shocked the team. I think it woke them up. And for a lot of reasons, they all put their best skate forward, and it came out great. And now we believe in the next minute here that Don Waddell will announce that Bones is back. For how long? Let's take a listen.
For joining us today. Obviously, we were hoping we weren't sitting here this early, but things happen, and I'm very, very happy to announce, though, that we've extended Rick's contract through next season. Obviously, if you look at the body of work that happened here over the last 37 games, I'm very pleased with Rick's work. I've said all along that the strengths of this organization from a coaching standpoint has been the communication he's had with the players and getting the players ready to play on a regular basis. It's always interesting when you do make changes how players are going to respond, and even through all the exit meetings that have happened so far, every player to a man said they love playing for Rick, they respect Rick, and they're all hoping he'd come back for another year. So we're very pleased to announce that signing today.
With that, we'll turn it over to your questions. Porty?
All right. Congratulations, Rick.
Thank you.
What did you want to see over the last 3 months to decide whether you wanted to stick with this and continue to do it?
Well, it's kind of what I thought coming in. There's a pretty good team here, and there's some really good pieces here. And I heard a lot of great things about the character of the players, and that's all been very, very true. They've been wonderful to work with. I really, really enjoy it. That's, as I've always said, that's the part of the coaching I missed the most, was the daily activity and working with the players. So, but coming in, I knew, okay, this is a pretty good team. There's a lot of good pieces. So, and we had some success early, and that made it a lot of fun. But it just scratched the itch a little bit more, and I'm very excited, and I want to be thankful to Don and the management and the ownership to give me this opportunity, because I am anxious to come back and finish the job that I came here to do, and that's to get the Columbus Blue Jackets in the playoffs.
And Don, were you as excited by Rick's words after the game the other night as the fans were? Or how did you take those comments and apply them to the team?
I probably heard them all before he came into the press conference in the locker room. So, if you watch it, Rick speaks from his heart. It was very passionate what he said, and he cares, and from a general manager standpoint, that's what he asked for. Since Rick's been here, I knew that he was all in on this, and I think how he said it and how the players responded, like I said, we've been talking through the exit interviews. We do them separately just so if somebody wants to tell me something that Rick doesn't want to hear, they give him that opportunity. And to a man, I heard only positive things. So I'm good with everything that's happened.
Well, I'll answer that. First of all, the players, they heard it from me before I came in here. Anything I said in here, they heard. And I know they heard me because I was pretty loud. And the second thing is, it's on me, right? I'm the coach. So when we lose, the first person I look at is me. And I criticize myself. Okay, we lost. We didn't play well. What didn't you do right? And I look at my discussions with the players, the meetings, our prep work, and everything. So I go after myself first. And I am the coach that does. It starts with me. And then, of course, you got to hold people accountable. So you got to go after the players. Now, after a game like that and the stretch we had, I'm not going to come in here and say, oh, we were close tonight or we battled hard. I'm not going to do that. People aren't stupid. They're watching. They see what I see, man. And the players see it too. They're honest. They see it. So, again, you know me now. Sometimes my passion gets in my way, and it does, and it's happened before. And I'm hoping it won't happen again. But that's why I'm sitting here is the passion and the love of the game. So that's who I am. And, there's times it goes overboard. Yeah, I know that. I probably pushed it a little bit far, and I get that. But that's who I am. And the players know that I'm a talker, I'm a yeller, and and I love the game, and I'm passionate about the game, and I love the players, and they know that. And the other thing you haven't talked a lot about was at the end, don't forget during that, I said, there's a few players in there that are happy that there's no game or practice tomorrow. So I wasn't painting the whole team with that brush. There's a couple of guys that I was, I got to get on board. Yeah. So when I said there's a few guys in there that are very happy there's no games tomorrow, I'm not painting the whole team with that brush. But that wasn't reported. It's not as good a story.
Dom on the left.
Rick, obviously you're very passionate. You want to win.
Yeah.
What needs to change? You said if you come back, you would change the culture. How do you do that? How hard will that to be? And is it as simple teaching a team how to win?
It's that. It's a little bit of everything. The culture is they're good guys. They're a tight group. They care about each other. But it's that, and it's now when I go after them in October and November, I can tell them you can't do this in March and April like we talked about last year because we're going through this tough spell. And I'm trying to tell them, you can't do this, and you're not going to get away with it in the playoffs. Well, now I have a reference point to them, and I can go to them in October, and I can go to them in November. See, that's the stuff that hurts us in March and April, that you will not get away with then, and you will not get away with when we're in the playoffs. So that helps. So that seed has been planted.
Mike, second row right.
Rick, you had stepped down from a previous job for health reasons. You're 71 now. You decided to come back.
Yeah, remind me of that.
Okay, you're 61 now. You decided to come back for whatever reasons. I'm curious for both of you, when you decided that at this stage of your life that you wanted to make even more of a commitment, and Don, when you decided that you wanted him back and that this would work despite all of what I just laid out?
Well, I got the pleasure of working the last since January with Rick, and age is not a factor. Okay, every day he's in the office early, works extremely hard at his job. I never saw, usually, as we get older, we wear out sometimes. I never saw that with Rick, and I had no doubt in my mind, wasn't sure 100% how it was going to go, but there was no doubt that he wasn't up for this job and ready to take it on. So, age is a number. I keep saying it. We all get older. Age is a number. It's how you take care of yourself and how you live your life.
But that last year in Winnipeg, both my wife and I had some health issues, and we wouldn't have come back. And I say we because Judy's fully 100% on board. And as I've told you many times, she missed it more than I did. But fortunately, our health came around, and that's the only reason we came back. Well, that's the only reason we left was because of health reasons. We had to get some couple of things straightened out. We did. She's 100%. I'm 100%, and we're ready to go.
Joe, front row right.
Don, because the team is trying to turn things around and get to the playoffs for the first time in a while, do you think it helps to have a head coach like Rick, who has a big personality? Do you think that's part of it that is attractive as you try to change things, been going for a while?
Yeah, again, watching what's transpired, I think Rick gets the most out of these guys. Obviously, we hit a little stretch there for multiple reasons that didn't work out, but, the body of work that I watched over the last second half of the season, 100%, we wouldn't be sitting here today announcing Rick if we didn't think that was the case. So, and I should mention, when we were signing Rick, obviously, Mike Priest, our president, and the McConnell family was very supportive, so everybody's on board of this, and I truly feel this is the right decision for this organization at this time.
And I wouldn't come back if I didn't think we could get this team in the playoffs. I want to win.
Ryan, the third row left.
Don, last year it was kind of hard to make changes with the salary cap going up and a lot of teams keeping their players. Your second full year now with the team, what are you looking to accomplish this offseason?
Well, we have a lot of unrestricted guys. We got to make a decision. I think we got 6 of them or 7 of them. Again, we're just finishing up today our exit meetings, and we'll sit down. We got the unfortunate part of we're not in the playoffs. The fortunate part, we have time on our side now to make sure we make the right decision. So we'll sit down, go through our roster, and then talk about those players. And then we have a lot of contracts to get done. It's probably the most I've ever had in my career at one time, with all the expiring RFAs, some big ones, and then whichever UFAs we decide to try to go back. So it's going to be a busy summer, but looking forward to it.
Mike, second right.
The culture thing again. You brought it up in your press conference the other day. It's one reason why what you said resonated with fans so much is it's something they've heard previously. So it's kind of nothing new here. I'm curious for both of you, when you figured out there was a cultural problem here, and this question is kind of unfair because it can get fixed. We've seen it get fixed in other cities in the NHL, but it never seems to get fixed here. So the culture thing, when you realize it was a problem, and how do you fix it?
Well, I don't think it's. I probably made it sound like there's a bigger issue than it really is, right?
I think the wording that resonated was it's easy to lose here.
Well, you've got to learn how to hate to lose. You got to learn how to win. so you hate to lose. And I guess that's what we're going to be working on from first day of training camp, and teaching them, again, reminding them this is what it takes to win. This is the stuff that hurts you, and that's why you lose. So it's that part. It's teaching them that part, how to win. And honestly, it's teaching them, you got to hate to lose, man. We're here to win, and you got to lay it all in the line every game. Like, again, 2 points in October, man, they're just as important as 2 points in April. They are, and that sounds like a cliche, but it's very true. So we've got to teach them how to win. That's my job, and I've got to do a better job of it because we didn't do it this year. And just as important, we're going to teach them how to hate to lose, man. You just got to hate to lose. So the cultural issue isn't probably nearly as big as I made it sound to be. But again, that's my passion. I gets my own way sometimes because it's a good bunch of guys and they're tight. And that being said, but man, you're going to war each other. You're going to war every night with each other, and each of you have to hate to lose, and you have to push your teammates so that they would hate to lose. And then the winning just becomes that much more enjoyable. But it's got to become second nature, like you accept a win. And when you lose, it's got to hurt. It doesn't matter. Like, I know this year we played some really good games and we lost. So I can live with that. But I can't. If we played a lousy game and we won, then we'd be dealing it like we played a lousy game. It's how you play the game, and that's something we'll be working on. But that, again, we have a reference point now with this group, and I didn't know them all that well. I know them a lot better now than I did 2 months ago, all right? So that helps me going into training camp.
All right, there is Rick Bowness. He is back for 1 year. We'll dissect that, and then maybe we can dip in. I think Don's going to have to get asked. Are you bringing back Boone Jenner and then go right to Rick? And is he still your captain? Because that goes right to the culture. And I'm very curious if those two questions get asked. All right, we'll come back and dissect it more. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
We're known for three things: games, conversation, and Common Man yelling about things only he cares about. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. As a longtime homeowner, I know how it goes when it comes to things that need to be fixed around the house and you just haven't gotten to them. Like maybe that leaky faucet that always has a drip. You think about it, but you never take care of it, and now it's just a part of the house. It's character. Maybe it's your windows that are always sticking and you can't get them open. So you just don't think about it. Who cares? Except now the weather's nice. You want to open the windows, and again, you can't because they're not fixed. Get new windows from Window Nation. They've made it easy to get top-quality custom-fit windows with their "the more you buy, the more you save" sale. You could save up to 50% off all your windows. Plus, you could get them with 0 interest for 5 years. Did you know investing in your home is actually one of the best investments you can make, especially in uncertain times? Experts report that windows retain 80% of their value. Energy-efficient, beautiful windows from Window Nation with great deals going on now. Schedule your free consultation at windownation.com.
Fall is the season of change, and Hinderer Motor Company is turning over a new leaf with big savings. This is Justin Hinderer. Right now, any one of our participating locations is paying up to $3,500 over Kelley Blue Book value. That's right. Drive in your current vehicle and leaf with one of ours today. Don't wait. The leaves are falling and so are the prices. At Hinderer Motor Company, we love what moves you.
Why choose between getting things done and doing things with the ones you love? With Kroger same-day pickup and delivery, it's easy to shop the same great prices and quality you'd find in store. We'll bring your groceries right to you in our refrigerated trucks, so you can spend time on what matters most. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Save $20 on your first Kroger pickup or delivery order of $75 or more. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Hey Central Ohio, it's Andrew from Home Team Solutions, and yes, we buy houses for cash the easy way. We've been buying houses for over 20 years and we've seen it all. Whether you've inherited a property, you're behind on payments, the house needs work, or just want to avoid the hassle of listing, we've got you covered. No repairs, no clean out, no stress, just a fair cash offer and you pick the closing date. We've helped hundreds of homeowners sell fast and hassle-free, and we're proud to have 5-star reviews all across Central Ohio and an A+ rating with the BBB. If you're ready to sell your house the easy way, call Home Team Solutions at 614-962-SELL. That's 614-962-7355, or visit us online at selltohometeam.com. Home Team Solutions, local, trusted, and family-owned. Again, that's 614-962-SELL. 614-962-7355 or selltohometeam.com.
Hi, I'm Josie. My daughter turns 5 today. Blow out the candles. I'm also an Ohio State Highway Patrol trooper. When you move over and slow down, you're not only giving me room to work, you're making sure I can get home to celebrate with my daughter.
Roadside workers have lives and families, but when they're on the job, they put it all on the line to protect and serve us. When you see flashing lights, remember, they're not just roadside workers. Thank you for moving over and slowing down.
Brought to you by ODOT, USDOT, NHTSA, and ODPS.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy real estate as is fast for cash. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. I buy vacant properties, inherited homes, divorce situations, death in the family, apartment buildings, commercial properties. I even buy my tenants won't pay me the rent houses. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
The Reds are on the Fan's family of stations all season long. If you don't listen, Terry Francona will ride his scooter to your house and yell at you. Your home of the Reds. The Fan, the Fan 2, and the Fan 3. Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Chances of showers and thunderstorms this afternoon, otherwise mostly cloudy, breezy and warm with highs in the upper 70s to low 80s. For tonight, partly cloudy overnight with lows in the 50s, and then for Friday, another mostly sunny day with highs in the low 80s. For The Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with the 10 Weather Impact Forecast.
Just when you thought afternoons couldn't get any dumber.
You fellas been doing a bit of boozing, have you?
Common Man and Tinley.
Weekdays from 3 to 6.
Your home for dumb. The Fan. Rothman and Ice present Pre-Snap Reads.
Sponsored by Dr. Mark Levy. If you're snoring and not sleeping, call Dr. Mark Levy today at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP.
All right. CBJ still having their presser. We're going to take you back because Don Waddell was just asked about some of the free agents and about bringing the core back.
Salary cap's going up, but it's amazing how fast you get there when you start talking about some of these young players, the contracts they're going to get. And you can't just look at next year, because you're signing guys for 6, 7, 8 years. I was with my cap guys today and said I want to do a schedule out the next 5 years because we know we got some big contracts. We got some this year, but coming next year and the year after, we got some really big ones. So we got you can't just in our business on the contract side, we can't just plan for 1 year. We got to plan for many years out.
Hedge, you have another one?
Just one follow-up.
Sure.
Do you expect to be a team that spends to the cap going forward as the cap rises, or not? What would be called a budget team?
I think we're very lucky here with our support from ownership and Mike. We're not going to waste money, put it that way. And when you say that, this year, if we don't make it to the cap, it might be because we know next year we have multiple years, contracts coming up. So again, I think that's where we got to look at from the business side of projecting out contracts. You got a lot of guys coming up in next year, and you have more guys the following year. Some key guys. So you got to put it all in your planning, and you sign that. Let's say you have $5 million extra this year, and you say, well, this guy will help us, but you got to give him 4 years. Well, year 2, 3, and 4 might be difficult years. So that's all stuff that we'll figure out.
Edge.
Seasons like this don't ever come down to one player or two players, clearly. But you did have, like with Kent Johnson in particular, and a couple other guys, step backs from what they did last year. Where do you leave off with Johnson? This is for Don, the start. And just going into the offseason, I mean, where are we going forward with that one? Because this is situation where, like, Chinnikov, obviously, we can kind of reminiscent, soured here a little bit, and now he's in Pittsburgh. Do you have to be careful, if people were to contact you about Johnson?
Well, I've said Kent's probably our most skilled guy on our hockey team, and he had 24 goals last year. Started off slow this year. I'm going to let Rick talk about his meeting with the one thing we all know about Kent. He's got the skill level. He's not going to get any taller, but he can get stronger. And we talked about it since I've been here, and I know Rick had a good talk with him yesterday about that. So, no, we're not giving up and giving away 22-year-old players. We've seen these struggles with young players. There's no doubt about it. Silly went through it. Adam went through it. So, if he's 25 years old, it'd be a little different, but he's 22 years old, and the skill that he brings to this hockey team is just it didn't start right from this year, and we got to get back on track.
No, I had a great talk with him. He knows it was a very disappointing season. He was almost in tears. He feels so bad that he let people down, but from what I've been told, there's a 12-pound difference between last year and this year. Like, that's when you're Kent's side, that is very significant. So he puts that 10, 12 pounds back on, and then we're really going to find out what we have. But when you're that 10 pound, you're that size, and you're 10 pounds lighter, you just get pushed out of the fight too much. You do, and he knows it. And that's my big discussion with him. We need to see, I want to see what you look like with those 10, 12 pounds back on. Right, and because that'll make a big difference in how he plays, his speed, his strength, his battles, all the little things you have to do, especially in March and April. When it gets tougher and it gets ugly out there, you got to be able to respond. So we're anxious to see what he looks like. He puts that weight back on.
Jeff, front row right.
Rick, you've talked a lot about down the stretch just how much harder it gets at that time of year. And this team, especially when they kind of got up to second in the Metro, was in a position where it's kind of the hunted and as opposed to being the hunter at one point. A new situation for this group. How much did you learn through the way that this season ended, and how much do you think they learned? How much do you think they'll be able to take out of kind of being in a new position like that and having to get to that level that maybe they hadn't got to before?
I think they've learned an awful lot. One of the things that came up a couple of times with a couple of different players is that from a coaching perspective, we're all about day-to-day process. Never take your eye off the process. A couple of them mentioned that maybe they started to look at the standings and the playoffs and who we going to play and think, well, you're not there. So as soon as you take your eyes off the process, you've lost a little bit, right? And I think that's what happened to a couple of our guys. But that being said, like the biggest issue we had in a couple of those tough games, it wasn't.
All right.
YouTube ads.
Little glitch.
That's going to be our last question that we're going to take.
Yeah. So if you just joined us, Rick Bowness is coming back as a Jacket head coach. And he was 21-11-5 over the final 37 games. He deserved to come back if he wanted to come back. The 1 year is interesting to me, and it could be just his own mindset. It also could be the Jackets. But they're probably both fine with it. Because in my mind, if Bones wanted more, he could have leveraged for more. I think at this point, he could have. So that tells me he was more than fine with just doing a 1 year. And then on the Blue Jacket side, it gives them a chance to evaluate him after a full season. And then if they needed to make a shift, they can. So there's no risk. There's no real commitment risk for the Jackets. So it actually probably does work out to be a win-win for him. I did get an answer to one of the questions I was looking for, and he wasn't going to say, yes, I'm bringing Boone back, we're signing him. But what I wanted someone to ask Rick, and maybe it will get asked, is you talked so much about the culture. Does the leadership structure in that room have to change? And do you want it changed? Because Don said the UFAs that they talked to all want to come back. Well, sure they do, at the right price. If they can get the money they want and the term they want, Absolutely. Then I would want to come back. Yeah. He said, but that doesn't mean they all will come back. So that's going to be the issue. It's not, because here's the deal. Rick went on and on the other night, and I know it was emotion, but I'm going to take some of it as truth, that maybe he didn't think this room was good enough. But he's leaning more into Well, now they'll know how I have to coach them earlier in the year, so when we get to the tough parts, the seed has been planted. And that's what I said to you yesterday, which is a lot of stuff what he said was drawing a line in the sand so they know exactly what they're getting into. So maybe he feels he can teach this group and ingrain that into them over a full season and a camp and all that.
Yeah, man.
But then that goes against the I need a different culture. So I don't know. He was tossing it out today as more of that was all raw emotion.
Yeah, he even highlighted, I think he dropped the quote a couple times today, my passion gets in my way. And so he's a fiery guy. He's not running away from that. He said, I'm a talker, I'm a yeller. I think sometimes you just got to pick and choose your spots, right? And he's a veteran guy. He knows that. But I don't know if that works, AR, year-round for a team. So that's going to be interesting to see the balance of being able to light a fire under guys and set the culture that he's talking about while also not, I think, playing that card 24/7, because I think that can be a tough environment to work in. Maybe he doesn't care. Maybe those guys want to be coached that way. I don't know. But he is clearly aware of sometimes that can be maybe a hurtful thing, maybe more so than a helpful thing. But for sure, you heard the belief in Kent Johnson. They want to get him in the lab. Get him on a nice little carb diet this offseason.
Don't hire you.
Because the skill set is there, and they believe in it. And so they're not giving up on KJ just yet. So that was something that I was excited to hear about as well.
To me, this is all about years and contract. That's it. I think Don wants Boone. I think he wants Marchment. I think he wants Coyle. I think he wants him at the right price in the right years. And that's what it sounds like to me. Now, whether the player agrees to that and it works out is yet to be seen. So Rick can't really comment on guys that he doesn't know are actually here. But it would have been great to ask the coach with his boss sitting next to him.
100%.
Do you need that guy?
We should have texted Baker. That's what we should have done.
Do you need that guy?
Yeah.
And is that C that important for a fourth line guy?
Yep.
And no, we got plenty of time. There's not a game tomorrow, which he has said.
Unfortunately.
We'll come back with our guy, Brendan Deeg from The Score, and we'll ask him about certain trades that could rock round one. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. My best advice to you when hiring a lawyer for your injury case is simple. If you know court personnel, ask them who they'd hire. They know. If you know an insurance adjuster, ask them. They know. And then ask them about us. Ask them about Morgan & Morgan. They know. I look forward to talking to you soon. There's only one Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm for the people.
Injured? Dial Pound Law.
Morgan & Morgan, Ohio office located at 600 Vine Street, Cincinnati. Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome.
Care Heating and Cooling. When you need a company you can trust, call 1-800-COOLING.
BMI Federal Credit Union is celebrating their 90th anniversary all year long with monthly sweepstakes. Get in on your chance to win free gas for a year when you lower your car payment with a BMI FCU auto loan. Apply today at bmifcu.org/gas.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Now is the time to call Comer & Cross and transform your garage with a gleaming new Comer & Cross garage floor. Maybe your garage floor has exposed concrete with stains and cracks or a bad epoxy or paint job. Well, a new Comer & Cross garage floor will transform your entire garage in just one day. Now, here's the great part of this whole story. If you call them right now, they're going to take 50% off installation. Yeah, that's right, 50% off installation from Comer & Cross when you call them today at 1-800-NEW-FLOOR. A Comer & Cross garage floor is the gold standard, guaranteed to never chip, crack, or show tire lift like epoxy or paint ever. Plus, they make it easy. They'll take your stuff out of the garage for you. They'll fix your cracks and pits perfectly like it's a new garage floor, and then they'll apply the proprietary finish that you pick. Yeah, I said it. They'll fix your cracks and pits. What's wrong with that? That's what you want. So call them today at 1-800-NEW-FLOOR to get 50% off installation. That's 1-800-NEW-FLOOR. Or go to comercross.com.
When it comes to your roofing, siding, or gutter needs, call Newman Roofing. 614-NEW-ROOF. NewmanRoofing.com.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Most shows just skim the surface, but Rothman and Ice feel like the biggest story of the day deserves a closer look. It's time for a deeper dive.
Sponsored by Low T Center. Low T Center, reinventing men's health care.
All right, nobody better to deep dive in the NFL stuff than our friend Brendan Deeg. Of course, Brendan Deeg is the NFL news editor at The Score, and he joins us now on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. My man, it's good to have you back.
Yeah, happy to be with you guys. It's draft season. How you guys doing?
We're doing great because we're trying to figure out whether the Browns should stay at 6 and make a pick or move back down to 10 or 12, something in that area. Still get a good guy. We're debating whether they should trade the 10th pick for Maxx Crosby. We're talking about the Bengals at 10. Which one of those storylines intrigues you more? The Bengals moving off of number 10 and dangling it, or the Browns moving off of 6?
Let's talk. I got some insight on Cleveland. So I like their spot at 6. I like what they did last draft, moving down. They're gaining capital, and I've been fascinated what they're going to do with the number 6 pick. Andrew Berry, I listened to his press conference today. Didn't really say much. I think he called Cardinal Tate like an acrobatic or something if he wasn't going to be in the NFL, which was like his most interesting comment. I'm really fascinated to see what they do there. The Cardinal Tate's obviously an option there. I was kind of going through their wide receiver draft history, and it's been a ton of swing and misses there. Like if you look back, 2021 they drafted Anthony Schwartz, Amon-Ra St. Brown was on the board. 2022 Romeo Doubs on the board. They took David Bell. 2023 they took Tillman over Josh Downs. They took Jamari Thrash. Like they just haven't been able to hit that position. So like if you're the Cleveland Browns right now and wide receiver is a massive hole on your roster, you are most likely, unless the New York Giants take a wide receiver, or the Tennessee Titans, which I don't think the Titans are going to go that route. The Giants, I do think, is the Cardinal Tate option. If you're the Browns at 6, you pretty much are going to have your first shot at the wide receiver board. And in my opinion, the wide receivers are going to go often in the first round. I don't think you're going to be able to kind of get one of the top 8 per se. And I think there's like a chance of 7 or 6 go in the first round. So if you want one, and if you're comfortable with a guy, I think number 6 is a likely spot there. There's also offensive linemen. They could have their first shot in offensive linemen. I don't think Malinois is going to go to the Cardinals like a lot of people are thinking. So I think I'm a big Monroe Freeland guy out of Georgia. He's one of my favorite players in the draft. So if you're comfortable with taking him there, they're a super intriguing team in my opinion. The Browns at 6. I think they're probably one of the more interesting teams in my mind heading into this draft there with their pick.
All right, Brendan, look into your crystal ball and let's stay in Cleveland. Which quarterback do you think is going to be starting more games this season for the Brownies? Shedeur Sanders or Deshaun Watson?
Ooh, it sounds like man, it really does sound like they're going to go with Deshaun Watson, right? Like the way that they've been talking at the owners meetings, like we heard the ownership basically talking up, like they're not getting away from this trade. They're kind of looking at it almost like a second opportunity here after the Achilles injury, kind of like a regroup everything and trying to kind of start from scratch with Deshaun Watson. So if I was a betting man, I'd bet that he's your week 1 starter. And I think they'll go from there. They saw Shedeur Sanders at the end of last year. He was one of the worst quarterbacks in the NFL with a most counting stats like EPA, success rate, all kind of the analytical stats. He was at the bottom of the NFL. And that's not me saying that you should be completely out on him, but I think they're going to kind of go back to the amount of money and the amount of assets they put into Deshaun Watson. I think they're going to want to try to get another crack at it. So I would go with Deshaun Watson with that answer.
All right, let me take you to Dallas. So they trade Micah Parsons. Their defense falls into the abyss. And now they have ammunition if they want to come up, right? So they've got a couple picks in the first round, including number 20 overall. That came from the Packers. Do you expect them, would you like them to be aggressive in their rebuild? And if they do trade up, how far up do they have to go? Do they have to try to get in front of their rival, the Giants?
Yeah, so it's funny. I think there was 3 NFL, really plugged in NFL draft analysts that released mock drafts yesterday. Dane Brugler, Mel Kiper, and there's one other one that I'm missing. But they all had Dallas trading up in the draft. And so these guys are hearing stuff. Jerry Jones has said, and Stephen Jones have said publicly that this is an important draft for them. And there's rumors that they need to get ahead of the New York Giants. Like you said, they're their rival to kind of get the guy that they want. There's 2 Ohio State defenders. Arvell Reese, I don't think will be on the board there, but Sonny Styles will probably be on the board there at 5. In my opinion, trading up to number 5 for Sonny Styles is aggressive and bad business, in my opinion. I would not do that for an off-ball linebacker. I guess Sonny Styles is one of quote-unquote blue-chip players in this draft, but I don't see moving up to there to get it. I think they should stay at 12 and 20, or at least at 12. they'll have a great opportunity to get a solid player at 12, and then maybe you can kind of trade back up to get another edge rusher from the 20 spot. I think like the Jets are 16, Lions 17, Vikings I believe are the 18. So if one of those guys, one of those edge rushers fall like a Keldrick Falk or along those lines, you can kind of move up from 20 and grab there. But I think it's going to be super expensive and just not worth it to try to trade up from 12 to number 5, in my opinion.
All right, I want to zoom out from the draft real quick for you and get your take on what the Dolphins are doing, or I guess not doing, with Devon Achane, because look, Tua's out, Waddle's now in Denver, hopefully making plays for them in time, but it just doesn't sound like they're going to move off one of the more explosive playmakers, and it feels to me, Brendan, that they should kind of just tear it down and get whatever capital they could for Devon Achane. What do you think of that scenario? Do you like them holding on to him?
Yeah, it's funny. I wrote actually an article for The Score earlier this week, or a feature story just about like 5 teams that shaped the draft. And the Miami Dolphins, when I was going through them, they have 7 picks in the first 3 rounds. They have 11 total. They have an insane amount of amount of draft picks here. And I think what you're going to see is the Miami Dolphins are going to move those picks to try to, in this draft, try to gather more capital for next year. And also what I included in that story is they have guys like Zach Sealer and Jordan Brooks who are coming up on, who are also coming up, coming up on contracts that are expiring that they can trade. The Dolphins are in complete rebuild mode and tear down, but you have to keep someone. So that's where I kind of look at with Devon Achane, right? Like you need to have some sort of building blocks for Malik Willis and this new set of players that are coming in, like with the amount of draft capital they have. If you're going to trade Zach Sealer, Jordan Brooks, get picks for them, there has to be some players that stay in the building that you need to kind of build this new foundation for Jeff Hafley, for John F. Sullivan, the general manager, this whole new regime. So I understand where they're coming from by keeping on to Devon Achane. He was young coming into the draft. He's still young. He's still got a ton of years left in his prime. So I understand from that standpoint. You just traded Jalen Waddle. You have a ton of draft capital. You have other veterans on the roster that you're going to be moving off of to try to gather more draft capital for next year. So I kind of understand where they're coming from. There's no point in trading a Devon Achane. Maybe you get a 3rd round pick for him, and then you're just the cupboard is so bare. The cupboard's already so bare. Their depth chart is a sad state of affairs right now. They don't have a ton of talent on the roster. I think they're thinking we need to keep someone for this new kind of new haul of players that we're going to be getting in 2026 and 2027.
Well done, my man. Have a great week. We'll be ringing you back soon. Thanks for this.
You guys are the best. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy the draft.
You too. Brendan Deeg, NFL news editor at The Score. He was on the Bryant Heating Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. The other side of the trade stuff would be A.J. Brown.
They're trading him. There's kind of, I think, that window in early June where the money works in their favor.
Almost. I think if they wait till after June 1st, it gets cut in half.
For sure.
It's like $40 million compared to $20 million.
I think I'm at a point now.
But you like to do it in the draft so you can kind of make something happen.
Yeah. The financials, though, those are going to hold a lot of weight. I think
said that there's the financials.
The cat be capping. It does
cooking
happen.
The books anyway.
I'm at a point now where I'd be surprised if he is an Eagle this year, just based off of
what they've done.
Yes, no question, right? Bringing in Wicks and Hollywood Brown, and then just the energy between he and Sirianni last year just feels like those parties need to go their separate ways, and it honestly feels like he's going to be a Patriot. There's not much other buzz around another team when it comes to A.J. Brown, and so I'm sure Drake May would obviously love that, getting him into town and being a baller for them.
And not only that, they're picking at 23. It's right where receivers are going to be, they'll have a shot at dudes.
And it will be fascinating, no question. And it will be fascinating, too, to see if he does get traded, if Devonta Smith can kind of do a little bit of what a JSN did. Does he have that? Maybe not the offensive player of the year, but showcase himself as a no-doubt number 1 in the NFL.
Higher workload.
Yeah, more targets coming his way. Maybe he can really pop off.
But you talked about the guys they brought in, so you add those guys, you pair him with him, and maybe they draft a guy at 23, and now you got a receiver room without the presumed migraine that
Yeah,
AJ has been. We'll come back with Tell the Truth. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
Head to 971thefan.com to listen on demand and subscribe to all our podcasts. Wasting time has never been easier. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Looking to level up your backyard or game room? Head to Billiards Plus in Dublin. From premium grills that turn every cookout into a feast to stunning pool tables and shuffleboard tables that bring the fun home, they've got everything you need to play in style. And don't forget their authentic pizza ovens, perfect for crafting restaurant-quality pies right in your backyard. Proud presenting sponsor of 97.1 The Fan's Pizza Madness. Billiards Plus is where great games and great food come together. Family owned and operated since they opened. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
My husband's an animal in bed.
Well, you know.
Not in the fun way. Think warthog. With a chainsaw.
Snoring and sleep apnea affect over 90 million people, and 1 out of 4 couples sleep in separate rooms. Advent can help. We've been your one-stop solution for nasal congestion, snoring, and sleep apnea for over 20 years. Unlike many other practices, we focus exclusively on these conditions, so you get comprehensive care under one roof. Advent's unique approach can help you breathe and sleep better, and many avoid a CPAP. Plus, most insurance is accepted for our effective 20-minute in-office treatments.
Hey, the only animal you want in your bed is your dog.
Advent. Sleep better. Sleep together. Learn how you can improve your life at adventknows.com.
With all that can go wrong at your home, it's enough to make you want to say, oh, brother. With Brothers Roofing and Construction, one call covers it all. Roofing, siding, rotting decks, we cover it all. So visit us online at brothersroofingconstruction.com.
Recently, our company's softball team lost the big game by 1 run. Then Dale tried to console us with the quote, winning isn't everything. Dale's a loser. I play to win. Like early payout from Bet365. If my team goes up big, I get paid out instantly, even if they blow the lead later. Sound familiar, Dale? Bet365. Winning is everything. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-MY-RESET. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio. T&Cs apply. In-app only.
James Laurinaitis here for my guys at Green & Sons, the premier Kubota dealership in Central Ohio. I love my Kubota tractor, RTV, and zero-turn I got from Green & Sons, and you can check them out online at greenandsons.com or visit them in store in Mount Sterling or north of Marysville in Raymond for all your Kubota needs.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter, and spring is here, and it's time to hit the road with something new from Germain Toyota. Right now, get into a rugged 2026 Toyota Tundra with just 2.99% financing for up to 72 months. Power, performance, and capability ready for every spring adventure. Or cruise into the season with a 2026 Tacoma SR5 for only $299 a month for 36 months and $39.99 due at signing. Fresh deals, fresh rides. Germain Toyota on the corner of I-70 and Bryce Road or online at germaintoyota.net.
Indeed presents hires you can't afford to get wrong, like a staff accountant at the height of tax season.
Congrats. Looks like the company owes, $50 in taxes. How about that?
That seems low. Why only 50?
Why do you care so much? It's not your money.
This is a job for sponsored jobs. This is what happens when you don't sponsor your job on Indeed. Next time, get matched with quality candidates with Indeed sponsored jobs. Visit Indeed.com/hire now and sponsor your job today.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Annie's first oil change wasn't as hard as she thought because she went to AutoZone, where a friendly AutoZoner helped her find the right oil and save on an oil filter. He explained the job and showed her free how-tos on AutoZone.com. When she was done, AutoZone recycled her old oil for free. No hassles, just help. Everything you need, nothing you don't.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Have you ever met a man who wins money betting on tennis? Enter Scotty Vegas. Join Scotty and Dave Biddle for On the Money.
Presented by Ohio for Responsible Gambling.
Sunday mornings at 9 on The Fan. All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Tell the Truth with Rothman and Ice.
Sponsored by McDaniel GM Superstore. Driving excellence since 1916. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
All right, TLC, take us home.
All right, let's start it here. Tell the truth. Have spring games jumped the shark?
Ooh, we've kind of been leaning this way the last couple of years, I think. So I was just having this conversation about how many people you really expect at a spring game. And back in the 90s, it was like there was a lot of pride in saying at Ohio State, wow, 100,000 people watched a spring game, whatever. And I used to tell people in the last couple of years, yeah, that was the 90s. Guess what we didn't have in the 90s? Smartphones and the internet. All right? So there were less things to occupy people. And I'm not saying there's less passion for Ohio State football. There's a lot. I think the goal now and we'll see what the weather does. If there's a threat of storms, maybe people would want to get caught in that. I think their goal would be half the stadium. Honestly, I think their goal should be 50,000. If they could get 50,000 there. Now, remember, the pricing's a little different depending on where you want to sit. And there were times, even back in the 90s, I remember, or even early 2000s, that it was like, okay, today, this year's spring game is a canned goods game. Like everybody's
bring
in
some
for
green beans.
Bring some non-perishables.
Yeah.
But I understand we're in a new era. Yeah. You gotta tap in. It's the spring game. If you can make money off it, make money off it.
Absolutely.
But to answer your original question, I think it's lost a little bit of its luster. You really don't know who's going to be playing. The coaches have to protect the team from themselves. Some of the backups get in and get to start. It's kind of cool to see some guys that still get to go in that stadium and feel a little bit of that pressure. It is televised, so it has that feel. Yeah. It's an orchestrated exhibition. They don't want to kill each other. But he asked, have spring games jumped the shark? Meaning is the intrigue done?
I don't think the intrigue is completely done. For me, it has a little bit of the Pro Bowl vibe to it, to where we had the Pro Bowl years ago where Sean Taylor's knocking people's heads off and they're actually playing. And then we really kind of just turned the intensity down a lot to that. You just kind of know what it is. Or there's certain things you can enjoy, but I don't go into that game thinking that I'm going to see an actual football game. And that's exactly what kind of where I'm at for Saturday. Well, yes, it's going to be cranked up to a higher level than what the Pro Bowl currently is in the NFL. Like you said, guys want to protect each other. You want to take care of your teammates, but also you got to thread that needle, right, and walk the fine line of showcasing to your coaches what you are as a player. And so, like you said, you get 60,000 people in that joint on Saturday. I think that's fine. Even if it's less than that, does it really matter? To me, no, because we know come week one for that ramp-up game against Ball State, there's going to be 100,000 people in the house, and that's what really matters.
I got a couple of tennis dudes staying at my house right now.
So there is a Seattle Mariners sideline reporter, I believe her name is Angie Mentink, who was busted last night because she was on her phone. Now, usually when you're at a baseball game and someone's recording your phone from right overhead, it's usually because you're cheating on your spouse and they're filming the messages. That is not what took place. However, and I guess I should have looked up what the score of the Mariners game was last night. I don't even know who they played because I just didn't even think that far.
I think they're in San Diego, TLC.
Well, apparently the Padres got him last night because Angie was busted on her phone from a fan who was behind her and zoomed in on her phone. She's typing into Google, "Good questions after a tough loss in baseball." Be honest. Tell the truth. If you're her and if you're her boss, is there a conversation that needs to be had? Because, I mean, everybody uses AI, but that is kind of embarrassing.
Ayo, this is your expertise. What do you think of that? You're her boss. Do you have to have a sit-down meeting with her after this? Or are you just letting her cook?
We all use AI in our jobs a little bit, but that is embarrassing.
It's the question, though, to your point, right? Like,
that's more AI than it is just Googling something, right?
Well, yeah.
That's someone
You're looking for the answers to the test.
Do the work for me.
Yeah.
And by the way, it's way too generic.
Right. Like what sport? Like
well, no, just even, I think she said baseball.
No, she said in baseball.
She said in baseball, but it has nothing to do with that specific game. Like, that's the whole point.
Yeah.
Is you have to ask stuff that's specific to the game. So, yeah, I don't know how you talk your way out of that one. I mean, I guess if you really wanted to go all in on the lie, you might say, well, it was over my shoulder and I was
You can't play that card.
Yeah.
I don't think you can play that card, right?
Boy, that's... I also saw speaking of phones in baseball, I saw this woman at the Giants game caught a ball, I guess, in the outfield, and she dropped her phone over the wall.
Okay.
In the process.
Yeah.
And nobody, no grounds crew went out there and grabbed it and gave it to her.
Not even like
It's just like the grounds crew got it later. I don't know whether they took it and then they wound up taking a selfie with it, and they gave it back to her. And I guess the picture went viral, but my thought went to don't most phones lock? Like if my phone eventually is going to lock. It takes a pin or whatever, face recognition. So how did they take a selfie with her phone? Did she not? It's on.
So you're
just
saying
turn it on and
she wasn't a part of the selfie?
No, she dropped her phone over the wall. The grounds crew eventually got it.
Yeah.
And then they took a picture in their little...
like on the iPhone on the front. Like if you just hold this button right here, it just goes to my camera. See that bottom right? Like,
wait, there's no lock? So if I got your phone, I can take pictures on your phone?
Front home screen, it's the flashlight and then the camera.
Right, but
you could just hold that down and you can see my camera's on.
But I couldn't get into your phone, but I can do that?
Yeah, you can take a selfie that way. Yeah. They didn't need to get into her phone.
So you're saying but my phone locks. So I get
that.
It's
locked. My phone is locked, right now.
And I can still grab it and take a picture?
You got a lot of notifications.
You can get to the camera AR
without unlocking it.
Yeah.
You can get to the camera.
At least on mine. Yeah.
Not on the old droider, I don't think.
More
Maybe not. You know what?
Huh?
Hang on. Maybe I didn't know this existed.
Hold up, player. What do you got?
No, I don't think so. I think I have to swipe to unlock, and then I could have access to the camera.
There it is.
I'm Ron Burgundy.
National Wear Your Pajamas to Work Day. Are pajamas a bridge too far at work, even in our line of work?
Yeah. Can't come in here with silk pajamas, huh? Can't have that.
I don't know how many people wear pajamas anymore.
I don't think I've ever seen that, TLC. No, I don't think I've ever seen that.
Honestly,
All right.
I mean, I think
Catch me tomorrow.
I think my dad wore them way back, decades ago.
Actually,
but I don't know.
Today
just
would have been
wore pajamas.
Today would have
I
been
don't
the
think
day to do
anyone's
it, 'cause Fish is
wearing
in
pajamas.
here.
I'll bust a Christmas set out, but that's about it.
All right.
That's about it. We got to go. Common Man and Timmy coming up next. Adam Rittenberg joins at 3:30. We love you. See you tomorrow.
Yep. We'll see you on a spring game football Friday, correct?
Yes, sir. We're there.
Forgot what day
You
it
got
was.
work to do on Saturday. 10 a.m. sharp.
Yeah, you got to jump the shark on Saturday.
And you're our first guest live on the set. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
T-Bone and Tyvis are everything you want in a delicious breakfast. Lots of empty calories.